I'm sick. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Vangelus from the internet, and 3 days ago, my throat suddenly decided to try to kill me from inside. I'm winning. I've coughed out most of its old guts, so I think I can do a stream. But in order to help me do the stream, I do have on the line, Aaron Axsmith. Hello.
Hi. I think you head through the wrong direction, but
I ended up throwing both. I went both.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it'd actually be forward for the way that you're sitting, and I am in the U.S. But whatever.
Well, you know, basically, I might turn face cam off when we're doing the main deal, just so that, like, I can simply mute the mic if I need to eject more material. But I've ejected quite a bit of material today. Some in public, into a handkerchief, or I say that, a napkin, and threw it into a garbage can. I'm not a sicko. I'm just sick. But, oh, Aaron, voice low? Here, let me turn him up some more.
Is my voice low? I was a little bit away from the mic here.
Yeah, I'll get you at 3.
I'm trying to arrange it so I have some desk space, and I'm not like flailing into my mic stand. I'm never quite sure if if hitting those springs end up ringing across everything.
Oh, it's not Snoticons the way you might think about it, but when I have a bad throat, basically I have for one reason or another, because I had lots of nosebleeds as a little kid, I have a lot of mastery of my nasal and breathing throat passages. So I'm very good at maneuvering globs up and out. The problem is that the sounds I make while doing that sound like I'm dying. This is according to my mom.
All slowly dying?
Technically, entropy is in effect, but my mom had to come to terms with how I deal with a mucousy throat, because it's horrifically violent what I sound like. It's all in good faith and practice, though. There's no blood or anything. I'm being careful. I'm not like ripping my throat apart, but it does sound very like, not like that. That's me being polite. But also, hi everyone. I'm just going to start from the top of where I can see things. Hi V-Rider and Quentin the Quesadilla and Cliff and Tyler Nutter and Boulder and Slayer Zoop and Picky Peeves and Alan Weaver and Alexis Silver and Long was here and Lee Kalba and Timu Kananen and Adam Bill Moo and Shia and Oma Ender and Tapaz, Eve Tronia, Griff, GD Slalom, Fuzzy Bunnyman, I think I caught you all. Am I a snot bender? Yeah, basically. More of a phlegm bender. I also take a look at the color every time. I color watch both my snot and my phlegm. It's just like, it's if you don't get grossed out by doing your own, it is a good way to monitor what's going on in there. But some folks are like, you look at what you. It's like, yeah, you got to see if it's bright or dark or red. Or clear. Like, you actually should take a look at that. It does sort of inform what's going on in there. I also just find it incredibly satisfying when it's like the dark greeny gray and it's like, and I see it like in the sink and I'm like, you're dead now. And I just like turn this, flush it down. Oh, it's, delicious. Aaron, I am here today to open this. I'm going to show it on the face cam because it's easier. This stupid giant box.
Except for the face cam doesn't want you to show it.
It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't deserve to have a face. There, you can kind of see it. Anyway, this box. This box is so big. I looked into this because it's one tray. And because it is so enormous, I do like that it's actually catching it right next to my face. That's really cool. This box costs like an extra $40 to ship. If they had just stacked it once, I could have saved $40.
Yeah, see, getting himself so fired up. Yeah, that is like a pizza box and a double thick pizza box because there's like one chunk of it that is nearly full depth.
Yeah, it's nice looking. And Diaclone Reboot, in my opinion, it is valid for Diaclone Reboot to not really give a crap about being exported because it is very much a line that, like, it's a passion project that has it makes no muss about the fact that it does not really expect to ever be sold outside of Japan.
So I am very surprised that the 2 parts of giant robot base didn't come in like a wooden shipping pallet. Box on top of everything else, just to be like, nah, get you, forget you.
Yeah, and I mean, other T-Spark stuff does. I mean, Adamus Machina Rodimus, you saw in the stream if you were there.
Yeah.
Little form-fitting alt mode box. The other X that shipped with this is basically a shoebox. It was a double X rated package that showed up today. So tomorrow or the day after, but probably tomorrow because I'm impatient, I'm going to cram in a stream for some Toy Rise X Kaiser as well. But yeah, the Diaclone don't give a crap. But yeah, Aaron also has this, so we're gonna do a little bit of play along. I also have my original Dia Battles V2 in reach of me, along with the Cosmo Booster, because I'm writing a review on them. Oh boy.
Yeah, so big tray.
Get my books. Get my reading
Important
material.
Books that it still didn't uncensor.
Okay. Yeah, it is just one tray.
Yeah.
Let's get a look at this as best I can, at least. Like, we got limitations here on the desktop, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the accessories could have been, you know, second trade tucked underneath, and it's just like, I think it's just like the hips and the depth of the module 1.
Yeah, it is like, just module 1 that's sticking out the most down here.
It even doesn't need to be oriented like that. You could have oriented it
sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this does protect the antennae. I'll say,
yeah.
Like with the way they did it. I'll never forgive you if this convinced me to check out more Diaclone Reboot. I did want to kind of caveat two caveats. Number one, because we talked about it in the text chat, but we didn't actually talk about it on the face cam. But you'll see I've added a little note to the top of the screen. I hope it's clear to all the regulars that this is a highly progressive space, and I am happy to speak to power constantly. But slightly by request and also slightly by intent, we're keeping this one a little politics light just because, like, boy, do people seem to really need a break. However, this is a progressive space, so if you come in here being smug about it, we'll obliterate you. So don't worry. We are not setting this up in a way where people can then start figuring out how to, like, get other people in trouble. We got better mod senses than that.
Yeah. We survived the early 2000s News and Politics Forum on TFW 2005.
That's right. And I have, I think, better ideas about how to proceed 20 years later. But, you know, that's just me. That's just me. I have a throat sickness! No one can stop me! Ah! Because if I keep shouting like that, it's going to loosen more of the phlegm. So I got a big old, the literal manual, which I love for these things.
Great manual.
It's, unironically, you can actually just have fun reading the book for a set like this.
Not even being able to read Japanese.
No, I mean, I am missing out on some stuff. Like
to go to my normal angry at the instructions guy, this is how it should be done. This is single color print, but it highlights the thing that's moving, shows the steps of action, has little bits of text.
I just gotta knife the sides of the tray. I'm gonna kind of expedite getting this tray off of the desk. Because
it is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my tray is in the box in the living room. I had no want to have that in here as we're going through things.
Yeah, my Diaclone packaging generally goes to storage. Because Diaclone is such a short print run, reissue-less toy line, I do save the boxes for the stuff I get. Because I feel like, even though they're not very fancy, something about the boxes do feel like part of the experience.
That and the thing is, like, Diaclone is a line that I'm not going to say appreciates well as a financial instrument.
Oh, but it does.
But it does. Like, if you can come in and say, hey, it's meant to inbox, you're going to do significantly better if you're like, hey, I just need space, want to be rid of a thing.
Yeah, you'll note I did not use the word shred in the title of this stream. I very specifically did not use the word shred in the title of the stream. Whoa. Let's put this somewhere where it's not gonna... There we go. There we go. So, let's get... Here is your Unit 1. Oh, look at that. One thing about this that does make me a bit salty, not at this toy, but at the X-Kaiser that I have yet to open. I know a bit about X-Kaiser. X-Kaiser has a faceplate gimmick, but you lift up to remove the faceplate as a piece on X-Kaiser, but on here, it's just like, doop.
You just tuck it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, X-Kaiser, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Can I pull on the cockpit? I don't know with these bullet cores. Okay. Because I'm guessing pull and then... Oh, that feels way nicer. Oh, wait, is that...
And yeah. Yeah, no, you were there.
That feels way nicer than on... Hang on, I'll show you. So this is a DA11. So this is the Alpha Plus release, the second release that they did for this, where they tweaked a few things that were breaking on the initial release. So on this one, like, here is the funny gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Still works. You can see the antennae on this are PVC. But here's the noises this makes. I don't know if this will pick up very well.
Yeah.
It's just crunchier.
Yeah, I didn't get it through. I don't know if the YouTube side got it.
Yeah, it might have cut out. Yeah, it's a little gear, a little dynamo. Isn't it called a dynamo when it makes that noise?
It's not a dynamo. It's just
okay.
I'd have to crack it open. So a dynamo is like electrical
legs.
It's likely just wrapped spring basic type of gimmick thing.
Oh, these are way friggin' lush. The tolerances on these are there.
So grab and pull at the thigh.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Oh, that's. I would if I didn't know from the thread, I would never have guessed. That's so. It's a shame that this is more of a cute. I mean, it's usable, but it is more of a cute thing, for like.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's a cute thing for this, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But we like cute things. Whoo, double ratchets.
Yeah.
Those are both ratcheted. And this is a top bottom triverse connector. It's my first time seeing one.
Connector.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Because there isn't one on Buffalo.
Didn't well. Trying to remember if the red cyclone thing that I got at TFCon Canada had that or not.
Well, I know you I've seen, because you brought Battle Convoy with you, so I've physically seen one. It's the first time I've like actually owned one, I should say.
So that the back of that is not quite. So that there is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the back there is not quite the Versalter.
Oh, the
like
length.
The two wide ones are, but it's not the third. Like the third, the Versalter is like has the 3 connector points.
Yeah.
Some people have taken some of the parts and put it on there as further backpacking. But it is not quite.
I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit here. Sliding the rail system on. Do you know what I learned today? Or at least properly learned in a way where I actually noticed it. I was looking, because I love to make my life harder. I started looking at how verse risers work. And I did not realize, in a way that I actually they held on to, that verse risers, the actual verse riser sets come with little 3 or 4 mil peg to this block for the rail system pieces.
And
I did
not know that.
Yeah, the verse risers with like the little suit, but with the add-on hunk packed in. They come with peg to this sliders, and they come with a little clip frame that is just a slider frame with pegs on the back.
Okay.
As like a translating piece for these slider pieces, and I was like, I did not know that verse risers had translation for this part of the system, and now I kind of want one.
Are you going to go straight to the main course there, or are you going to run each of them through their paces?
Let me see what I usually go instruction book.
Yeah, I was going to recommend you go through the instruction book, because the 01 core piece has got a little bit of building to do to get him to
there they are.
Your standard.
While we're here, by the way, Aaron, if you see anything in the chat, please feel free to call it out. And I do apologize if I'm a little bit less noticing of all the chat. I'm combination playing with the toy, but also coming off of I was really sick this weekend. I don't know why, but then whenever I say that, I'm kind of like, do we ever really know why we get sick? Or do we just have like good guesses?
Unless you're going to the doctor for every sniffly bit, like, it's sometimes hard to know. Like, I don't know, you're just a frail meat puppet.
Yeah. Well, I went
to. Really isn't LA at this point, Lika, but it's been a month.
Yeah, that would be some extremely long incubation. I thought about that, but I figured like it's been long enough.
Some long burn.
It could be, but I got to use my little tissue here. I'm trying to temperature control the room because it's the spring, but we're going from 17 Celsius to -1 Celsius. So in here, it intermittently gets incredibly hot.
Yeah, we've had 2 days of frost warning after a few days of like outside in t-shirts and shorts. So
yeah.
So for the instructions, you still want to flip those out and then flip that nubbin in.
I've got my spudger arrays here, by the way, because I've been working. I didn't tell you, Aaron. I forgot. I finally found my whatever the thing was called, where it was another set of big powered legs that they put out like around the same time, but it came with the triple cannons and the little like park benches for the Dianauts. I finally found. I don't know where the instruction book or the steel sheet is. I have the box, the tray, and the toy though, and that toy had been untouched for basically since 2018. So I needed spudgers to even get some of the joints to move again on the little arms.
Yeah.
Because they were so untouched.
So yeah, and then the other thing I'd kind of recommend you do is take out that bullet core if you want to drop the Dianoc into it.
Oh yeah, so how do I take out a bullet core on this?
Pull.
Just pull?
Pull on the
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, the spring pulled out a bit with me, so I was like, is this okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's bullet core shape, so if you had other bullet cores, you can just plop them in there.
I mean, in a little while,
use this bullet core on the others.
Yeah. No, in a little while, I will have something from AliExpress that will come with 2 bullet cores, technically. This is a Dianaut, by the way, for anyone who has never seen one. This is a Dianaut 2. Actually, they officially call them 2.0, which I kind of bristle at, because I'm like, where's the 1.5? I mean, one could say the woman ones are the 1.5, but then
I think the females are kind of like the half-generation step.
Yeah. But this is a Dianaut. The version 2s and the female ones add a neck joint. I was just recently looking at all this to try to get it all straight in my head. So originally they had all the same articulation, but no neck joint. And so the new ones add a neck joint. But it's ball socket, shoulders, little elbows, a big, you can see the hinge, ab crunch, or ab joint, I guess, because it can go backwards. A little ball socket hips, mostly go forwards and backwards, but they can flex out just enough to play with motorcycles and things. Little knee joints, and then a pair of teeny little rare earth magnets down there in the feet. This does not come with a steel sheet, though, so it's not easy for me to show you the magnets, because I haven't put steel sheets on anything.
Did you have a knife out earlier to open the thing?
Oh wait, he goes on this battery. There you go.
Yeah.
Very Spider-Man colored. Yeah, this is blue and red is the what are they called? The D-caliber colors, the hero colors for Diaclone. That's kind of what I collect through happenstance. Is I just decided I kind of like the hero colors a lot, and thankfully for me, I think it looks cool. I feel no pull towards the black repaints, and I think that's really good because everyone wants them.
Yeah.
So not
Mimicry saying that's a great looking tiny figure. Why do the MP ones suck so much?
These are given way more TLC in assembly and manufacturing.
Yeah. So they sell like 5 packs. I gotta look it up right now. Yeah. The latest multi-pack of just dudes. There's one coming up. That's the 4 from the Tactical Mover shorts. For the 3 shorts that were like Gale, I think.
Yeah.
That were like the Sentai colored team. That's $37 at the Chosen Prime for 4 of them. So you're looking at like
they're around
$9.
Yeah, they're around $10 each is the best way to think about it, because if you start if you start looking into any of those Dionaut sets that are no longer around, they immediately skyrocket. So, like, generally just think of them as $10 each, and then be pleasantly surprised when they're closer to 9, is what I would say.
But they do such a great job if you check out the TFW thread for Diaclone. There are a few people that have just a fleet of Diaclone and do scenes and the like, and seeing, you know, just a squad of these dudes in soft focus in the background does an amazing job to fill up a scene and give it character and personality.
And they are also technically 160 scale, so they go real nice with Transformers a lot of the time. And they also go great with 160 scale stuff. But I find Dionauts, like, you know, Transformer scale is a little bit flexible, and sometimes it's closer to Lego minifigs, but generally, unless there's like a really obvious cockpit or something that is too big for them, like, Dionauts look alright with a lot of Transformers, I think. I'm just getting all the bits out now.
Studio series because these two are actually the same color scheme, dang near. And for the earlier discussion, man, a Dionaut could almost stand in that chest if only it wasn't hampered by a silly Matrix gimmick and the void space.
Oh, the toy version one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna put this tray back in the box so I don't have to think about any of this. I saw earlier, by the way, I am a Waruder person. It's just more complicated to... It's more complicated to interact with them, is the way I'll put it. I have a bit of a quest. I am getting close to feel like I can't just do it. I need to save up some money, but I am at a point where I have Waruder Raider Raptor Head and I want Bug Head, the blue set. And I know if I just throw 10,000 yen at one, then I could just get one. But if I had a Diaclone quest right now on as far as old stuff, it would be the Waruder Raider blue set, the Bug Head. But I very much am hoping to get a hold of a Geist Waruder this year, and possibly Waruder Roars. But I want the anode-colored Geist, because that's what all my Waruders are. And I think I've seen a lot of decent posits saying that it's unlikely Waruder Roars is going to have like a lighter color anytime soon. And I'm fine with that. But, oh, hello, Option Zero! I was just talking about the Diaclone Mega Threat to Aaron a few times. But yeah, there's of the price spiked expensive old stuff. The main one I really want to get is the Waruder Raider Bughead set, because I have the red one, the Raptor Head. I have 2 blue suits and 2 red suits, so I feel like that symmetrizes my Waruders in a way that I would have a lot of fun with. And then I'm hoping to pick up a Geist and a Roars eventually sometime. Alright, let's put this stuff back here. Get my little manual out again.
Yeah, so you've got 2 modes now to work X01 through if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. I will say I have watched like a lot of videos about this stuff, primarily because I wanted to know if anything was like imminently fragile out of the box. As far as I know, not really. Like, you know, as far as like being careful, I still could ruin it without knowing something.
Yeah, I've not seen anybody say on this release. I don't think I've seen anybody go like, "Oh my god, this thing blew up."
Yeah. Option Zero, Jaguar and Dark Geist. Yeah, I would like to get Dark Geist as well, just because he matches so well with Roars. But if I had to pick a Geist, I think I would have more fun building with the Anode Geist, the first one. Just because I have the suits and one of the Raiders to go with it, and I built something out of Waruder Raiders Raptor Head and 4 suits, and I liked it. I made like just a funny looking Godzilla. So yeah, Bullet Core in. We've got number 1 flying around. I think this is to go to high mobility mode now, which looks I like the way this looks. Oh, I was curious about this. So like this little gun barrel, like actually goes in so it looks like it's now channeling the larger fuselage of the... Oh, that's cool. Is that 3 mil there? Is that like the usual port size?
I don't know. I don't
Where's
have
my
any...
where'd he go?
I don't have any of those little converter pieces. And work won't let me go home with the cool, expensive calipers.
And this is bigger, I think, but I think this is 4 mil. Yeah, this is off. For those, I'll mention this again. It's not like the next review I'm doing, but I started because I'm sick and I couldn't record articulation segments for the next 2 Mecha Invasion sets. I've been starting to poke at a script for Diabattles V2, and I'm trying to be vaguely comprehensive despite it being a review piece, because currently the best source of information for Diaclone Reboot stuff to know going in is a how many pages was it again? 2,900 some pages?
It is significant.
A near 3,000 page thread on TFW is kind of the only source of information collected anywhere.
2,955 pages right now.
Yeah, so, for instance, for this one...
Sorry, 56. 56.
Oh, people have been posting
in the last hour.
For this one, I wanted to explain that I'm primarily covering DA11, what that is, how that relates to DA01. However, the back end of the review, I do bring in Cosmo battles and the Cosmo Maneuvers White Dia battles. I'm basically, and I'm also making reference to the upcoming reissue of Diabattles V2, which has the tooling from DA45 Diabattles V2 Red Lightning, where these became ABS plastic and thicker, and the hands became ABS with a knuckle hinge. There's a whole lot of stuff to explain to feel like I'm doing a review the way I want to for Diaclone things. So I'm trying to do lots of research. For example, Option 0, you might appreciate this. So the outward ratchets on my big powered, these ones work fine. The outer ones, just last night, I took the springs out. Everything's still fine. But, so this is now, ratchetless, but that's something that I feel I need to explain. Even though I only have one big powered, I need to probably mention that only 2 of the 4 big powereds actually have springs that are softer, and the other earlier ones have springs that are rough enough that they could rip tabs after prolonged amounts of use. And so all that stuff is just, it's very granular and complex, and really the only source of info that is like a nexus of info is a near 3,000 page message board thread on TFW 2005. So one of my ulterior motives for my reviews that I want to do of these is also to further disseminate but also separate slightly some of the information.
Yeah. And there are a couple of Japanese YouTubers, and I think one Indonesian YouTuber that has done some review things. But
yeah,
even like, unfortunately, with the way that search algorithms are, even when I'm like, look, YouTube, I already follow this guy. Why aren't you showing me that? Or I'm already subscribed to this guy. Why aren't you showing me his reviews? Instead, it's something else entirely. Gee, thanks, Mr. Tube.
And obviously, like, I don't think that my, YouTube videos I put up are going to be the go-to for anybody. I just think that having something organized and somewhat clearly stated in another place will be helpful on the whole. Because someone who is new to Diaclone, if you come in saying, like, what do I do? Like, the answers every year become more complex and intimidating.
Yeah.
So yeah, Option 0, thank you. Yeah, it's DA 14 and 17 are the problematic ones, so 33 and onwards and 80. Change that, because 14 and 17, that is mine, and then the version of mine that debuted the hands. 33 is the Destroyer, 80 is the Verse one. Any big powered nowadays also will cost you at least $500 to $700 because they don't make them anymore.
Unless you get very lucky like I did.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. So yeah, here we go. Here's high mobility mode. This is where the X comes from.
That is such a swoopable thing too.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like it's jets and power and turn on a dime, turn inside itself. The Star Furies from Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling with the I've got my thrust control things way out from the center of gravity.
Here's the original, by the way, in landing position, and then you move these up, and according
flight position. Yep.
Yeah. Then now these are boosters. They actually showed it in one of the animations, which I really appreciated, because you kind of look at this, you're like, what do you mean? So in one of the later animations, they showed these actually lighting up with a glow and ambulating for directional thrust, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. So yeah, here's the two 01s flying around, being all like buddies. Oh yeah, yeah. If you want to get a first Diaclone, tactical movers and D vehicle sets are the current affordable ones. Tactical movers are often called Versalters. So anything that says Versalter specifically is a thing to look at. There's I think 7 of them, 6 or 7 of them. I now am mold complete on the basic Versalters as far as the main types. I'm not getting any repaints. I'm just treating them as a Sentai team. But
are you going to go for the one that's the remold of the existing one, the Mark II Horus?
I thought about it
with the radar dish.
If there's nothing else different about it, I might let it go by. I'm not pre-ordering it. If I just see it though and I have the money, I might, because I do like the Horus a lot. My favorite tactical mover so far, it's a toss-up between the Horus and the Gale, I think. I really like both of those.
The missile truck.
Yeah,
one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's Gale.
Those were the first 2 I got as well. I picked up the rest of them. I like the other ones too. I sometimes between Gale and what's the VTOL one with the little truck.
The gyro.
Gyro.
Man, I used to have all of those names locked in, and it just shot right out my brain. Probably because we were up until the wee hours of the morning. Garuda.
Yeah, Garuda. Yeah, Garuda.
Garuda gyro lifter.
Yeah, Garuda and Gale kind of vie for second place in my mind and Horus actually sometimes gets bumped by. It's sort of the 3 of them all vie for first place. But yeah, I think it was Option Zero said there truly are no wrong answers, because they're all so different and also all the same. So it's like, as long as you like the base Versalter, then it's just like, well, do you like jets? Do you like guns?
Yeah.
Do you like orbital things?
Argo as a submarine is very interesting. Like that they took the same kind of form factor and made it into a submarine that is very decent, like little shoot and scoot submarine looking thing. Hawk as a hey, this is like a space station space frame, and even as early as it was, kind of like the chariot with the treads, just leg treads, is such a very much a mecha look.
For reference, just to be also, I really should say this. I bought the first 2 from ages 3 and up while I was helping my mom out last summer. The other ones I was able to get in about 2 lots off Mandarake, and most of those Versalters I paid somewhere between 4,000 to 5,000 yen for. One of them, I think the tread, I paid somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 yen, but most of them I just sort of waited until someone had a bunch of them and cheap. So right now, I think the season might have shifted a bit, but if you can Mandarake dive a bit, and also if you're in a position to do so, obviously, it's not impossible to sort of dig up some well-priced Versalters. There are also at least 3 color schemes for every single Versalter, so eventually one of the color schemes just becomes the one nobody wants, and then you can get that one cheaper.
And Connor, it is that Versalter is Horus. That the one that I linked is the upcoming one that they've remolded a few things to give it that AWACS dish and a different core. So the red cockpit thing is the bullet core on what Vangelus is playing with right now. But that is a part of the Diaclone line. Is all of that is cross compatible. So any bullet core should fit any place. Any other bullet core is set to go.
And a lot of the Versalters. Versalter's frames, they all come with a core they hug around, basically. And a lot of bullet cores, not all, but most, can fit into into the verse frame as well for any Versalter. There's sometimes there are just, masses that don't align properly, like that happens now and then. But yeah, for people who noticed, this is the solo mech mode for what is it called? Battles X1. This is the hopper mode. So this thing is just meant to walk around on its little skinny legs and then shoot stuff with its artillery cannons. It's super cute.
Yeah.
I know I saw in the thread that one person had a fairly loose pin hinge here. Mine feel fine. I do, like, these kind of pin hinges I can tighten with my good old solution here. But yeah, this thing is cute. Ever since I've been messing around for the sake of reviews with my older stuff, I've come to really appreciate the contained single piece modes. Like this little thing can just stand up and let me, like,
dumpy man.
Yeah, turn this around, stick a powered suit in there.
Or even just that cockpit. Just pull that cockpit out, turn it around the other way.
Oh yeah, you can do that too. This is a sort of, dimensionally this is very similar. It's not the same, but this is kind of like a proto bullet core in a way.
Yeah.
I think it might actually have the same name, and you can see it sort of has similar ideas, but not quite the same yet. This one's cool though because
core has the
drop little wings.
Anything that's a bullet core has the peg hole thing on the bottom, on the back, on the sides, and then the little like grab rail on top of it. I think that's when they rock in a bullet core.
Yeah. And I will acknowledge, despite the text at the top, like, this is one of the strangest times on the planet to start going like, hey, look at Diaclone, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's just when this one came in.
Axel Nightmare, I would need to get, he's asking, is being able to manufacture my own Versalter frames enough of an excuse for me to want a 3D printer? Talent remaining forbidden prospect. It would probably need to be a resin printer for the level of tolerances that I would want, because there are knockoff versions of the Versalters that, like, of the first couple of releases, the Gamma.
They sold out. I can't find them anymore.
That you got to go to the dark spots of the interwebs.
I have been. The AliExpress sellers they've sold through so many of their. Yeah. Okay. I was just looking in the last week.
Okay, well, they come back around from time to time.
Yeah.
I got one of them for like $20 out the door, and it is within, like, you can tell if you're sitting there with the authentic one and that one side by side, you can tell that there's a difference between the two of them. But it is like if you didn't have another one in hand, you would be hard pressed, I feel like.
Single hinge.
Interesting look on Taobao.
I didn't think about Taobao. I will say, because we talked about it on the podcast recently, like, there is right now the POP-01 original Optimus Prime, which is a knockoff of Diaclone Reboot Battle Convoy. A very nice one. It is not as good as the original. Jesus, look, they painted the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Anyway, the POP-01, by all accounts, it's like, it is worse than the original. However, the bar was so high that it's still worth the money. And I was thinking, like, if someone does get a knockoff Diaclone Reboot piece, as long as it's not one of the Lost... Like, some of the Lost Planet ones are still really good. I've heard that the Waruder suit knockoffs were not very good, but I haven't been able to confirm. Even a decent knockoff of Diaclone Reboot, if you like it, it means if you get a real one, you just get that extra bump of, like, oh, this is really nice, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Diaclone Reboot is a line that is so nice that many of its knockoffs even are of quality.
Oh, this knockoff is like 80% quality. Well, that's better than a lot of other things that are coming out.
By the way, this is one of the fun parts on a lot of Diaclone Reboot, I guess, quote-unquote, combiners, is the flip on the hands usually reveals some kind of ambulatory claw thing, which also looks neat as a hand.
Is that Battle Buffaloes is the pod crusher?
Yeah.
Because it's the big thing that comes out around it. from the forearms.
And even Diabattles V2, the OG, has where are they? Ooh, these little Gatling gun things in place of the original hands. And then show off a little bit. If you were into it early enough to get a Cosmo Battles for a decent price off Mandarake, without thinking about it, then find out later this thing goes for like $150 alone now. This one has little nubbins, but then if you open this and don't flip the hand, but instead flip these bits out, you get this neat, like, little crusher claw thing. Yeah, Waru is, like, bad. So the Waruders are literally the baddies, basically. They have one of the best enemy names in, like, Shonen Toys history. They're just the baddies, the bad guys. You know, through whatever means they were
force named the bad guys. Yeah, the bad guys. What are they called? The bad guys. Okay, is this a Who's on First thing?
It's like through whatever means the Waruder race was created, they were simply fated because they were born and they were called bad. But they do a lot of fun puns with Waruder now, because there's like the Waruda Raider, and the Waruda Roars. So this thing just goes in here. What I understand of the fiction of this thing, Diabattles X1, is that it's kind of like a sort of arms escalation where there are like drone brains in some of the machines rather than direct pilot hookups. So one of the things that's kind of understated, as I understand it, about Diaclone Reboot, there is sort of this implication, if I understood correctly, that like the not just AIs, but like the god AIs that they use to like merge the pilot's brains and whatnot, are even as of Diabattles V2, they are advanced enough that like some of them may well be a form of sentience when they're activated, but it's like it's left purposefully vague, and it's kind of like, you know, up to you to play with them as you do. But I like the idea. I like the idea that like this thing, right? They have an animal mode for this thing when it's just the drone thing. And I'm like, maybe that is that, you know, that drone brain turning into like a bird.
So that's not the drone brain. You put it back down.
Oh no.
So they imply that it's like the sensor bit on the shield part is the drone.
Ooh, that just rails in.
Intelligences. That's one of the two ways that it connects. Wait till later.
Yeah. What am I doing? Right. Am I just not sliding these up all the way for this one, I'm guessing?
They don't quite. There's like a little bit of extra space in there, but that is because like if you take the wings and put them all the way up, that's where the extra like space comes from.
Okay.
So just slide it to where it sits well, and that's good. But like if you were to then take the wings and fold them up or rotate them up.
Oh, they actually want the want these open for thruster stuff, I'm guessing. Yeah. By the way, the POP-01 knockoff has done incredibly well as far as I can tell, because you can only really get it on eBay or AliExpress now, and it's way harder to get it for what most people paid for it when it was new. I got really lucky with a coupon to grab one. Look into knockoffs of Diaclone stuff, because obviously, if you really like this and you have the means, you could, I'd say, pick one to pursue for the year, because this line is very expensive. It has been deduced through interviews and a little bit of just educated guessing that most Diaclone Reboot toys get one production run with a very rigid QC scaling added to them. The whole line is just one designer's passion project, as far as anyone can tell. So the level of quality control on these is notably higher than on Transformers, and not just any like it will feel better, but it is much less common to have critical issues on Diaclone Reboot stuff that is not at least addressed in some way by Takara Tomy.
They had issues a couple of times recently, one on a Versalter and one on a different thing, where they flat out were like, "Hey, go back to where you got it, and say that you have, show that you have this," and they have whole replacement pieces for you that caused a little bit of an issue for a lot of U.S. retailers, because people that had bought through them had to say like, "Hey, did you get those parts? Can you get them for me?" And go from there.
Here's the Hawk mode, by the way. So I just like this idea that like this thing is a drone jet flying around, and then like, just like implied storytelling. What if like a Waruder was beating the crap out of the pilot? Oh no, what am I gonna do? And then like this drone jet went like, my master, and then my friend, my family, and it's like morphed itself into the shape of a bird and just went.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and then like and then you have that interesting storytelling of like, how did it just do that? Like I like that idea. Like there's something cute about that. Just the like your flight drone, like just turning itself. It's flown amidst the birds so much, it just sort of figures out how to configure into a bird to help you. Yeah, the one part looking a lot like a bird head, that definitely helps. Protect the pilot. The claw thruster is removable. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you can pop that off. Oh, I read about this too. The thruster is a separate cap. But yeah, another part of Diaclone, this is the part that I would say isn't the selling point, is if you have several, I would say probably 3 major Diaclone reboot pieces that have compatibility, suddenly the other identity of the toy line sort of reveals itself to you. However, that's not a selling point, because you have to have them, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like I frequently say, like, having 2 Diaclone things that are cross-compatible, it's not like you have double the toy, it's like you have 2.5 times the toy, and when you have the third one, you now have, like, 5 times the toy, and then a 4th one, it's like 9 times the toy.
Yeah, it's exponential. Okay. It's like math with lots of brackets and little numbers.
Yes, option 0. Diaclone is Lego in a Transformers costume.
And Waruder is Lego if Lego was rings.
Yeah.
Rings and cylinders.
I have been told by Alfie that I am not to get into Waruder because she saw what I did with the good guys side, and I actually got like knuckle wrapped at TFCon when there was somebody that had a bunch of Waruder stuff. I have a plan for the Waruders. I know what I want my Waruder collection to be. And it's all based on the fact that I have 2 red suits, 2 blue suits, and a Waruder Raider. Sorry, I completely missed this was another mode this thing does. Oh, the third mode, the piloted mode that you're going to now?
The bullet mode. So yeah, we can pull the bullet fighter. I'll just use this bullet fighter. Pull this out, and then stick into here for assuming direct control. It is also very possible to get more bullet cores like this, like the D vehicles. A couple of them just have bullet cores amidst the other stuff that they come with. Very swooshable, yeah.
Yeah.
This thing.
The little bit of forward swept wing that makes it looks
a lot more like this now.
Sci-fi, yeah.
Whoop. This is, by the way, something that I've been personally trying to figure out precisely how it happens. This is on Die Battles V2 Alpha Plus version. This does not go in very tightly at all. My understanding is that is because they modified this clip because it used to break in there, and this clip is super friggin' solid everywhere else it interacts with. So this connection is primarily these divots gripping onto these blocks. So I think I know how I could tighten this without messing everything else up, which is primarily just put a little brush load on the top and bottom of this and see what happens.
Yeah.
And also, you don't have to have the swords on this. I've become one of those people. I notice it over the course of people's Diacloning. If they have this, is like for a while they're like, I'm going to put the crash caliber somewhere else. On wings. Yeah, and then eventually you're just like, they go there because that's where they go. And,
yeah.
And then when they did the updated animation for this, they have the swords there, and then if you watch the animation really carefully, it actually drops the swords before they combine, and then when he lands, the swords are in the ground where he lands, which is really cool. Connor McClure also Sweepwing Fighter. Yeah, Sweepwing Fighters are also just neat. Alright, we got stuff going on here. Shia, I'm always diacloning my Warriors. Make sure they knew who's boss. It's gonna flip this back to... I did not catch, because I didn't really look at videos of this too much, I didn't catch that this pulls a slight axis shift to turn into bullet core mode. That's really cool. It's like just a slight one, but ooh. The joints on this also just feel freaking amazing. Like,
yeah, it's like a ratchety butter.
Yeah, yeah.
And that sounds like it shouldn't make sense until you run through it some, and you're like, yeah, there's clicky bits, and you can feel where the detents are, but it's like it's just buttery.
I know you might be trying to save yourself, but have you seen any videos of Warrior roars yet?
Yes, I have.
The friggin' ratchets on that thing. They sound so good. All right. Oh, this does one of my favorite Diaclone tricks. This goes back to the very first one, and this appears more than once in this series, and it's like 9-year runtime so far. Oh, these are gonna. Oh, those are harsh. Those are harsh.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt a little bit of owie on my fingernails as I tried to use those tabs.
There we go. Is they get these little, sometimes they'll have these on both sides, so you can, like, kind of infinitely connect them together if you have the pieces that do it. But these little kind of, like, left-right interlinking things appear on tons of Diaclone Reboot stuff. I have found a lot of things like those where I need the spudger the first time or two, and then they just work. Like, they had to, they needed to be unearthed first. So yeah, sticking those together. Oh, I see. No, Lee, my nails tend to really suck too. I have some that are very powerful and some that are like destructible, and probably not to the degree you're explaining, but I can empathize somewhat. That's why I'm so thankful I have a pair of these things floating around. I need to get a new one sometime.
Those heels are getting the feet and legs into this configuration had a bit of that's the exact sound, I think.
Well, I'm also just noticing this metallic on the inside is like lush.
Yeah, it's heat radiators or something for all the thrust.
Yeah, science.
Yeah. So now this part here, I was afraid that I broke something the first time.
Oh,
because there's a slide on it. Yeah, get that in frame for the people at home. So that part comes up and out, and it feels like it needs to slide up just a tiny bit more, but it doesn't. But you kind of feel like you want to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that bit? Where'd it go? Here it is.
Alan, unfortunately, I can drop links in, but the Argo Versalter is of the Versalters that come with a bunch of stuff. I feel like it's probably my least favorite one.
Which one's the Argo again?
The Argo's the submarine.
Oh, yeah, the submarine. I've actually seen the submarine get the most mixed reactions. Some people really hate it. Some people are kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Some people, every now and then, someone loves it, though.
Yeah. So it's really a thing. Like if you really like the submarine thing, that's cool. The submarine doesn't quite hit it for me because like I think part of it's there's like no other crossplay of things being submarines. It's just like, Cosmos just being the only transformer, the only Autobot out in space, just because he's out there. Yeah, less swooshable because water. So like it didn't quite hit for me the way that all of the others did, but saying that it's my least favorite Versalter still puts it at like a solid B.
Yeah, and it has some neat gimmicks that other ones don't do.
It has some cool gimmicks. The the ICBM missile doors that open up and like actuate up a tiny bit is pretty cool. There's significant things that it does that are interesting, and like if you can find an Argo for cheap, it's probably a good introduction for you into it. If submarine thing is a thing that you dig on.
Oh my god, they have a friggin' you can see it there there is a light pipe window for the sight and the barrel. That's light piping. I was hoping I'd get some of that giant robot based light pipe tech on something smaller, because this is making me think of that light pipe tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess DA-95 it's a land battleship. That's what it always called itself. So
yeah.
I guess it did have the one video where it rolled up out of the ocean. So maybe, I don't know.
It's been a thing. I know in one of the videos, the one where they show like the land, sea, air, and space forces or whatever. This little guy, there is a shot of this little guy just hopping and stomping around underwater with some powered suits. So a lot of these you can really easily roleplay as this one's just walking on the water. Anything with like drills or mining equipment feels very underwater. One of the OG power suits has a very underwater feel. I forgot which letter it is now, but it has a very deep sea diver feel.
Yeah, where it's all more rounded.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's a pressure vessel, not a bunch of armor. Yeah.
Yeah, this little guy, hopping, stomping around. If you are stateside, Chosen Prime and Big Bad Toy Store are two of the main state domestic sources. Also, I didn't call this out because you all were talking, but this thing has the old sort of a version of the old-timey this clip. I haven't seen this clip in a while. That goes specifically between this old clip with its two wedges. It's like they're recalling all of their tricks. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission to All Frontliners, that's the one. Because that has the really cool Diabattles gut tie. And I think we mentioned it before, but another element.
You're missing the fun of that piece right there, in your right hand.
Oh,
or the other one in your left hand.
It's the next step. It's the next step. I see it. I just wanted to mention, it might look like we're kind of plugging things on and off. This is sort of by design. A lot of these pegs, there's basically two peg sizes, 3mm and 4mm, and those are all across the entire line. So even at its most base form, Diaclone Reboot has a cross-compatibility in that just about every pegged accessory can stick somewhere on just about any other Diaclone toy. But yeah, also, this is baller. This way? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have a Versalter who's got the pegs for it, you can just stick these little wing boosters on him and go he's on a special mission.
He's got super rocket jet pod things.
Yeah. The one thing about Diaclone Reboot that can be a turnoff, and I don't disagree with this, is that there kinda is no media at all. There's bits and pieces. There is an implied canon, but a lot of this line is it either really clicks with your brain and how you grok your toy play, or you literally bounce off it I don't get it, basically. So I wanted to point that out, because I always encounter folks who are I simply don't get it, and it's no, it's real. It's So this is the sky mode. This thing has a sky mode and a land mode, basically. There's the other drone brand.
Yep. That's flying because it has the power of all the thrust when you look at it from behind.
Yeah.
How much thrust do you need? Yes.
And then, hey, do you need to slow down? We got front thrust, too.
Yeah. And that's the old joke about the F4. It was proof that a brick can fly. I don't know, more jet? Sure. Cool.
That's also another reason why I wanted to stream this one, because this one is so, loaded with stuff, is that, like, this is a kind of way that I can share it with everybody. And, like, if you're like, that's neat, I just don't want to buy any, then, like, hey, yeah, you can just chill out. We're just going to play with this a bunch. We're going to play with this a bunch, and we're English language, which is becoming more scarce in the Diaclone coverage space, I have noticed. Nothing against other languages, obviously. But sometimes I'm like, I don't understand some of the nuance of what's going on. I was also curious if I was just going to flip these around. I totally am.
Oh, that's just the first part that you're flipping around.
Oh, wait, what the... Where... No, oh, okay, that rules. I didn't...
Yeah.
There. One way I've described these, just to get across the hand feel notion, is, you know how on a Transformer, right, there's always going to be, like, parts of a Transformer where it's like, oh, this is the good bit. Like, oh, that's the good bit.
Mm-hmm.
Diaclone Reboot is like if you made toys entirely out of the good bit, is the hand feel, basically. Everything on these does something.
Alan Weaver, it is... so if they're just talking about just the shipping box, like, it is a big, big shipping box. Because the Pop 01 comes with, like, the whole battle trailer thing that is massive.
Yeah, Pop 01, it is
big.
The usual cost of Pop 01 is like that trailer by itself in any fashion. Sometimes only half that trailer costs more than what Pop 01 costs. So that trailer's enormous, and if you can get it shipped without the box, it's worth it. The only bummer is the box is hilarious, because it literally says in big glittering letters, Original Optimus Prime, which is really funny. So I gotta remember to do this. I wanted to get TJ to film the box, so I could have box footage. Because I really want to share that box. Okay, here's the land mode. So now it's just... so now all the thrust turns into guns.
Yep.
That's great. Pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow.
And I think there's also... Yeah, you can also turn the feet sideways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit more Maser Cannon now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Pop is basically, it's not it's only kind of a joke to say that Pop 01 is you're basically buying a really good knockoff of the trailer and you're getting a free, completely decent battle convoy to go with it, pretty much. Yeah. Like you're basically just your money is already paying for the trailer. At least in terms of the aftermarket on the... Well, no, because the black one for Tactical Mover is coming out soon, and it costs more than Pop 01, and it's just the trailer. I mean, with a new bridge section, but still, it's...
I have a pre-order on that one, and I'm hoping that the locked-in price early keeps it sane.
Yeah, fingers crossed, of course.
Yeah. Contemplating a second one, because even just getting that big old box...
I'm going to go to bullet mode now. Best as I can, at least. I think I have to reset some stuff.
Yeah. This one feels like it has maybe not quite the biggest change when you go over to bullet mode, because you, like, origami fold a bunch of stuff up and make it look significantly different.
And I got to stick this thing back in there. Oh, right. Right. Oh. Okay, yeah. Okay. So this thing flippies back like this. And then we take the bullet core.
I guess not the bullet mode. It's the like the second bullet mode.
That's it's bullet modes. It says in the instructions it's bullet mode sky machine.
Bullet mode land machine then, I guess.
Yeah. So here's bullet mode sky machine. So again, assume direct control.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that actually the drone just like folds back like that though. Like that's really like is that metallic blue paint or plastic? Most of the dark blue is plastic, and then this is paint.
Yeah.
But the plastic finish on a lot of Diaclone Reboot stuff also has a very lush feel. Yeah, I'm planning to stream some more gaming soon because I want to raise at least. I'd like to try to raise at least $100 this month for Extra Life. Then apparently I get dice something.
Yeah, you get a dice tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Oh wait, is this?
I think maybe one more click in there.
Is this just like standing tank?
Kind of. The official one has you flip the thruster pack things when that they're pointing forward.
I feel like this is... Oh wait, I'm in the wrong joint, that's why. It's my funny little tank I drive to work.
Yeah. Just extra armor panels all around you.
Yeah. And yeah, like I don't mean to like turn this partly into like the Diaclone educational stream, but like this is sort of again the some of the basics of like the play pattern that is Diaclone Reboot now that it's like at least about to be 9 years old, I think. It is that everything does at least 1 to 3 things. All the peg sizes are the same, and there's a lot of bespoke connectors that reappear on different toys, sometimes as little surprises almost. But anyway, we're gonna make a robot. We're gonna do this. We're gonna what's the most Power Rangery way this would go? It's like
I don't think you're quite making the robot yet. I think this. Oh no, yeah, this does go to the robot. It's the back half that is all the different scrambled modes.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same in the old Dia Battles instructions. They take you straight to the robot, and then they go like, "Now, did you know there are 6 other modes plus that you can mess around with?"
For Vangelus' sake, even though it's in his pinned comments or in his pinned thing here, you go like this here. That's if you want to get a jump on donating to him. Oh, it won't let me paste because your thing is too large because it's trying to pull out the whole thing from the YouTube page.
Oh, I mean, it should just be Extra Life / whatever / Vangelus for mine.
Yeah, well, I tried to pull it from your saved link, and it gave me the whole thing with all of the YouTube nonsense in it. YouTube, ow. There's Chris's link. He has no donations yet.
Yeah, I got waylaid with all kinds of things. Polar vortex, seasonal depression, TFCon LA.
There's my link.
There you go.
In case you wanted to donate to me and see me go mad watching Dahareen shot if I make $1,500.
genuinely, Aaron does get mad, too. It's like, it's not a fun thing. It's not like a funny, goofy, like, oh, I'm gonna be so mad watching this. Like, it genuinely upsets him watching that stuff.
It's engineering that hurts my soul.
Yeah, it's like, I feel it's important to say that, because so many people, you know, would come to this going like, yeah, I'm gonna be so mad when I look at that Dahir in shot. But, like, Aaron genuinely gets very angry. It's, what do you call it? It's asking for something.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is the same, if I recall correctly, this is basically the same connector as the old one.
It's a laser shoot.
Why do they want me to tilt these so far?
For clearance's sake.
Okay.
Because if they're straight forward, it like makes it harder to slide the arms around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that second bit of click.
So, for reference, on the OG, I gotta flip this down. This is the OG. This is the very first Diaclone reboot toy that they released. Updated version. Similar connection. Alright.
You slide his arms forward on the T-rail.
It's always so satisfying the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this rail that this is on the bird is lined up with a rail that's on Battles 1. And so it's hopping the rails, basically. So that's the rail that it was on before, and that's the dividing line between the two pieces. That is some classic Diaclone reboot. Very first toy did that. That's a whole system that exists in several Diaclone lines, the rail system.
Battle Convoy shares that. Battle Buffalo has some of that.
Yeah, here you can see a version of it on here. On the Cosmo battles, there's actually... let me get this at. There's an L rail because this has two things that go onto the rail. So that's like an L-shaped / T-shaped rail. And then, yeah, the front there is where it jumps onto whatever connects into the front. That's one of the really cool bits of this toy line. At least to me. Like, I find that a lot of people tend to agree that rail hopping in transforming toys is still pretty darn cool when you see it. Not yet common enough to just be a thing that happens.
So now the leg thruster bit's gonna rotate up to kind of tuck up.
Oh yeah, I gotta do the Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that is specific. And this. Yeah, Armada Overload did a rail hop way back in the day, and then...
Yeah, Fans Project Chrome Dome, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver.
And then we never saw it again. Until Fans Project Chrome Dome.
It's a thing that has to be done, like, it requires high tolerance engineering.
Yeah. Okay, there is clearance on the throat if you use Johnson throws, it's faster to pull them off. Yeah, I like it when the clearance works. I realize that puts me in a danger zone because I saw Option Zero. I saw what happened to your poor Waruda Roar's head, trying to make it fit through the thing because it's so cool if it fits through the thing. But they got a little bit confident about how that all works. Because that was supposed to be down, that goes up. Oh yeah, Siege Magnus has a rail hop for his butt. That's right. I remember that actually popped me when I saw it, because I was like, the rail hop is back. And our drone goes whoop.
How does it go?
It goes whoop.
Okay.
Canonically. Fold the fins in, flipping this around. It's interesting to me that the quote-unquote, I'll use the word canonical foot shape is like this.
Yeah.
Because I would just assume that you would have this, coming out the other way.
I've left mine big and open just to have more, like, foot space.
Yeah.
A little bit more variation in how you balance it.
And then we go. And then, oh yeah, I gotta flip that little peg out. That peg is actually way easier to flip out than I thought it was going to be, given how it locks in.
Yeah, yeah. Canonically, it also has the thrusters on the back of the leg open. But...
Oh, does it? Oh yeah, it does.
You got to have a little bit of extra thrust to jump because he's so powerful.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing transforms and it goes to stabilize, and it has these things on to stabilize as well because it's gut tie as hell. And then this is my first time putting a verse joint together. A verse joint? Yeah, a triverse joint together.
Triverse joint.
Oh wait, so is there a button? Oh yeah, it's the green thing.
There is.
Yeah, that's right.
The gem on the belt.
The gem is the release button. Ooh. Ooh. Let me close these up. My miniature!
You can give him hands or leave him as claws if you want.
I'm going full anime.
Get to show off that wonderful painted interior panel again.
Yeah, woo! Woo! If one does have enough money to just spend on a fancy toy, I do, even before I'd mess with this personally, just knowing what I know of it, I agree with the folks who say if you can swing it, this is now the Diaclone toy, basically.
Yeah.
This has a bit of everything. It's the iconic Dia battles. It will leave you with a toy that can interact with just about any other non-Warrior Diaclone toy you might pick up, ever. And then then we head back here.
One part left.
Yep, hit the button. Conce! Yeah, that still is so friggin' cool. That is the first gimmick they invented for this toy line almost a decade ago, and it still is it's still friggin' peak. So yeah, then you get yourself a Dia Battles X1.
Now you get to go about arming him.
Yeah. Was I supposed to... Oh, I think I was supposed to swivel these guns back.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a little too excited. Just put them away for now. I do appreciate they have full clearance to just swing out, though. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Satli Kalba, it's very much the same as Starcom.
Yeah.
Those, whatever, the friction spring action stuff.
It's the Starcom noise, basically. Let's get this mixed up on this guy. Oh no, I did get it mixed up. Dia Battles V2 has...
Mixing it up, and then you mix it up.
Diabattles V2 has just enough swivelly bits there that I sometimes get them confused. But I figure I'll give you all the OG show as well. Right, this way. And then we get this kind of neat so this one, currently there is a knockoff of the white Cosmo version that still shows up on AliExpress as being in stock. It's not terribly inexpensive, but it is inexpensive compared to a normal Diabattles. There is also a re-release of this one coming out as each vehicle is a separate figure. And that is coming out next month, I think. Iridescent, absurd how Diaclone Reboot has single-handedly made several toys which are all somehow simultaneously the coolest toy ever made. Yeah, if it's to your taste, yeah, it's very aggressively like the moment that it became clear from an interview that this was in fact a single designer passion project, the entire line made sense to me. I was like, oh right. Oh yeah, and yeah, good ratchets. Some of them good ratchets, and then let's do it again. OG style. Oh, hang on, this poor pilot's gone all crooked in his cockpit. There you go. That version's suffering a little bit more, audibly.
Yeah, and I mean, that like, my understanding is all of the Diabattles V2 have had, like, slightly more alignment quirks, rather than...
You can see it here.
Every time I've run the head on X1, it's been perfect.
And yeah, these toys are literally almost a decade apart, which is wild to think about to me. Like, more so being nearly a decade apart, how much cooler this one feels now than it did to me 9 years ago, specifically. Something about this didn't click with me until many years later about, like, precisely what it was achieving.
Good question from Axel Nightmare. Are there any third-party companies, Transformers included, that make toys that are on par with the hand feel of Diaclone Reboot toys?
Specifically the hand feel, no, but that is because Diaclone Reboot has some amazing engineering for its ratchet systems. Not just that they're there, but that a lot of their ratcheting joint systems are small and incredibly efficient. It's unreal. Like, Option Zero, if they're still here, in that mega thread, has done some disassemblies of Diaclone stuff, partly just to see how it works. And some of that stuff is wild. On a broader sense, I would say that I feel, as far as just confident, fun play, like, you know, it's on my mind, but Mecha Invasion is not Diaclone Reboot, but it is big, expensive toys, not necessarily for kids, that are just fun to play with. But that's a lot more efficient on an even more streamlined level as far as, like, how they're put together. Okay, Option Zero is still here. Yeah, there's, like, Option Zero has recently, like, I can't even follow the photos because it's so complex, but has taken some photos of the workings of the recently released Waruda Roars, which is like a Jaguar robot that can stand up and do some Gatai stuff, turn into centaur legs. Every single joint on that thing seems to be ratcheted in every axis as a bespoke single-contained ratchet system. And I believe Option Zero said at some point during those postings, hey, just don't do what I'm doing. Just leave the joints alone.
Picky Peeves, the female Dianauts are in some of the other set.
More common now than before.
Yeah, so they are in the people sets. There was a set that was just released that was just a people set that was mostly or all females.
It's usually mixed now.
A couple of the expansions to the giant robot base, I think one of those maybe had a female Dianaut.
A lot of the tactical mover add-ons and D-vehicle sets tend to come with female Dianauts as well.
Let me check. I've got the armor set 3 right here.
It's actually the easiest way to get female Dianauts right now is tactical mover add-ons, I think.
Yeah, the armor set 3 has one female Dianaut. Pretty sure that's a female Dianaut. It's still sealed because I don't have assaulters that need armor now.
Yeah. But yeah, most of the recent sets for tactical mover tend to have a mix. If you can find there, sometimes the the repair crane, the little truck with the extending accordion thing.
Yeah.
That comes with 4 Dianauts. At least one of them is female, if not 2. I can't quite remember.
Did that come with 4 Dianauts or just 3? I think it's just 3.
I may be misremembering.
I have 2 of them. So those and that's the thing is those smaller ones are so easy to be like, well, what place only has 1 scissor lift? Yeah, it comes with 3.
3, okay. And yeah, there's also that the upcoming Synergenics thing from Takara Tomy. There's that the Liger Prime, these Zoids, Transformers.
No, sorry, I correct myself again. It comes with 4.
It was 4. All right.
The main photo had the first photo that I pulled up had the yellow one sunken down in the yellow cab, and I just saw the 2 standing on either side and the one up on the cherry picker. So
proud of my memory.
Yeah, and that one has like 2v2s, 1v1, and 1v1 female, I think.
Oh wait, you mean the repair lifty thing comes with pegs too?
Huh?
I did not know that. I thought it was just Dianauts in the little truck.
No, that's what I'm saying. Unless somebody else is.
Okay, I haven't really looked into it too much. I mostly am looking into that thing for...
It's like a little flatbed wheeler truck thing with the cherry picker lifter thing.
Yeah.
And it has 2 Dianaut V2s, and I think it may just be 2 Dianaut V1s.
Oh, I thought
they're the ones with the smaller chest and the gold on one side.
Yeah, I thought you meant it came with like the male to female pegs that everyone lusts after whenever. Oh, okay.
No, I was saying the female Dianauts.
I'm just gonna put these mysterious little clips over here on the wings. Just don't mind me. Why would I ever be doing this? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Not like we mentioned it earlier on.
Yeah, no. I don't know why anyone would think anything of this. I am probably never going to remove these clips from these.
That's where mine have lived.
Yeah, that seems like a great place for them to live. I'm curious if this feels as good as the old Crash Caliber when you slide it in. Because I see now it's asymmetrical, which seems important. Oh, wait, do I just go top down?
Yeah.
Because the little nubbins are getting in the way. I can't show it easily.
Maybe tuck it in.
Oh, never mind. It says to start with the divoted part here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then it does the thing. Yeah, because the old Crash Calibers, when you slide them in, the very top is ever so slightly beefier, so that it like clips in. Not clips in, but it grips it super nicely. Oh, you ain't even seen what the swords do yet. So yeah, those things go in there. And then. Now I got them in, now they're not coming out. There we go. So I know this was freaking some people out in the mega thread, so I was trying to figure out how to do it carefully. So these crisscross thingies here connect the two swords together, and they're a little funky.
Yeah. Daniel, yes, this is the Diabattles X1.
And then off this thing I stored away here earlier does the coolest friggin' anime-ass, super robot-ass thing in the world. Unfolds like that. Receives the two grips, so now you've got the double caliber. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, this little thingy, you can then unfurl it again. It's got this rotating thingamy, so you can Mythic Legions it a little bit. Sword and shield. Just in case someone gets past all this, you've got a sword and a shield. And then this thingy does something... So I've seen how this bit works. This is personally, I think, the coolest frigging thing this thing does. Just barely eking out the sword. So.
So Picky Peeves, the Gridman Diaclone stuff is all theoretically cross-compatible. I don't have it, but it's supposed to be all the same size peg port stuff.
Yeah, there should be. I have to look into the Gridman one again, because now I want to know a little bit more about it. But it, at the very least, has the same peg sizes. It should do something more.
Yeah, and there is like a Dianaut-sized Gridman.
Yeah. Oh, Adam Roth, we're beating me to the punch to say buckler. Yeah, technically buckler. Anyway, imagine if you had a cannon, right? And then imagine if you had a bracer that folded out of your own shoulder. Just imagine with me. Hypothetically. Ugh. That your dang cannon could, like... Ugh. I don't know how to line this up right.
Yeah, the handle is actually, you'll have it be, like, forward.
Oh, I see. But yeah, imagine if your gun could, like, attach to your own shoulder to brace you while you shoot your giant cannon that's controlled by a drone brain.
So the fun thing is, so what are you going to do with his shield now?
Oh, well, let's take a look. Sword. Oh wait, now it's moving on to the part where it wants me to do a whole thing. So yeah, you can. Oh, they're little guns.
Yeah, so little droney has his own guns.
Yeah, so this drone can just, just fly around. I kind of wish they had got it. I know it would have been silly. I wish they had gotten a steel sheet. I know you could just make one, but I wish they had made a slot for a steel sheet to go there. So you could just have a Dianaut, like, standing on top, just surfing on the drone. Alright, so now this piece... Okay, so that's just its own little mode it can do. That's its own little thingy.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to make sure I put this on the right way around. There we go.
Yeah, Daniel in the lore of Diaclone, it's all like, it's called Big AI, and as a Dianaut fighting for the world. Your suit is part of the connection that you have to your cockpit, to the big AI system, and bravery is how it's controlled.
Yeah, the implication is, especially the robots that have faces, that the way they interface with their pilot or pilots results in the combat AI system in its brain beginning to acquire its own form of sentience sometimes. Like, that's just like a sort of minor implication that's been there sometimes. I think it's really fun, because it's just up to you then. I should show the thing it can do again.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that you probably should have done that when he was doing the giant cannon, so that he's not giving his own face some flash burn. But...
that's fine. He likes the smell. Like, that's just such a friggin' slick faceplate.
Yeah.
Alright, so, okay, so, where are we at? It says to put it like this. Take the guard off of here. Stick that back in here.
Uh-huh. So there's a peg, and then the slot on top of the shield.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
That is also, that same slot bit is what's on the backpack piece. So I was going to say, when you had the cannon, you could put the shield up on his back. So on the robot, grab the robot, put the gun down.
Yeah. Up here.
Yeah, take that and it'll slide and lock in. It just kind of hangs out in space, but it gives it a spot to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw a version of there was some video where they had, like, the whole gun just trailing off the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I love slide locks like this. There's 2 huge ones of these on the Mecha Invasion Constructicons, which is really fun.
Do you have something normal to size compare it to for Spigen?
Here he is with a Blocky's Galaxy. Are we at the point yet where everyone has one of these? Also, yes, good evening. Oh, yeah, okay.
Because he has a Blockies and it still somehow doesn't help.
So those come out. Oh, and we're even sticking the calibers in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit of, like, slide up and down, like the length of the blade. Feels like it helps me separate those apart when they're combined.
Okay.
Just to break apart some of the friction. And you're welcome. We're Spigen.
Where is the little... Supposed to put them like here?
Yeah, it's in the holes that are there, on the back side of the shield.
Oh man!
Nope, other side. Keep turning it. Keep turning it. Keep turning. You're rotating it the wrong way, actually, you jackass.
Oh, here.
There you are.
What is going into what?
Oh, you left the holders on.
Oh, the holders go in here. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't necessarily understand what... I was like, is it using that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes more sense.
And I just see this as like hardware delivery mode. Like something went wrong, fire off another one of these.
Oh, yeah. Systems. So it's not an even bigger sword. It's just like, what if all the accessories were a drone bird? So like both drone brains merging with the sword to fly around and yeah. Launch another one of these.
Either, you know, he's got enough armament already himself with his over-the-shoulder gun, the hip guns, the waist guns, the cannon fists. Let all of his other weapons go do some damage.
You know, though.
And then yeah, an inbound care package when stuff goes extra wrong, like the powered convoy scene where it's like the sword airdrop from the sky.
He can also just hold it like a giant sword too, I just realized.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Also, I never actually turned the head left or it's on a ball socket joint, so you can articulate the head, just in case that was not clear.
Yeah.
This is actually, this is ridiculous, but this is kind of a funny, like, he can barely, oh no, he's able to hold it, but it's held on with one peg on this little handle. So it's not gonna hold up. You gotta be a little careful with it, but yeah. He can Obari.
Probably.
I've seen a decent Obari photo, but he doesn't have forward butterfly joints, so there's a limitation. Auridescent, the weaponizing plane is the funniest part of the Super Robot Cross Real Robot Cross Fun Toy Fusion to me. The Diaclone Corps are an organization run by deranged, positive people canonically. Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen, the giant robot base, which is a land carrier and a giant aircraft flying base that merged together into a giant
flying aircraft carrier.
Yeah, the two huge vehicles gatai and then stand up as like a gigantic robot. So they sell a sword for it that's like over $100 by itself.
Yeah,
it's sized for a literal human being, and the sculpt and design work of that sword and all some of the imagery that's gone with it. It implies they just have an orbital satellite with like a bunch of those swords in it.
Yeah,
and they orbital drop
just like a revolving dispenser of orbital dropping swords.
Yeah, and they
can rod from God this thing, or have it be a drone-powered sword that a Versalter can ride upon. Just so you know, my robot dude has a sword, but he's also riding a giant sword because I'm gonna stab you before I stab you, to then stab you.
Yeah, and it's like the sword is sculpted and painted, so it just looks like it is a giant aircraft that happens to be a sword. It's very funny.
Yes, Timu, I have one of those swords. It comes with like a knuckle duster piece that you have to put on that. Like you put the sword, it's got like a tab to go into the giant robot base's articulated fingered hand. You close the hand around it, and then it has like this knuckle duster piece that you clip around the sword, or around his hand and the sword, to hold it in place. And then, like, I can, with that in its hand, I could probably hold up a giant robot base for a brief period of time before I was like, hey, this is a whole lot of weight that I don't want to be holding off of one spot. But it is all very strong and chunky. And yes, he passes the dab test.
I steeped my tea for 2 hours. Oh, that's Flavor Town.
All the goodness that needs to help with the throat gunge.
That's Flavor Country.
Auridescent, if you have any Versalters, there's cross-play pattern there as well. It has a specific bot that flips up so it has foot peg accessible holes, so that it can be a surfboard.
I would still say don't buy the giant sword by itself, though. Unless you think...
Yeah, but also, like, in this day and age, you need some sort of home defense weapon.
I mean, true. I did see earlier is the giant robot base not just Macross. So it's like, imagine if Macross was 2 Macrosses that had to combine together. So imagine if there was an SDF-1A and an SDF-1B, but they were each the size of an SDF-1. Also, my tea contains lemon slices and honey. I know where I'm at. It's a Tazo orange herbal tea with lemon slice and honey that was in the steeper. It's making me feel normal. Is the sword a roleplay toy with electronics or just a small... It's not small.
Yeah.
But it is just a plastic dagger.
It is a plastic dagger with action features.
Aaron, you know what I never did with anything with was these.
So those are just small pistols. If you want them to be pistols, they're there to swap out as the over-the-shoulder weapons if you want to do that.
Oh, I see.
If you don't necessarily want the giant things over your shoulders for, like, if
that's
they're in
important. Something to know when you look into Diaclone Reboot. You don't have to do what they do in the animations, because the imagery of Diaclone Reboot implies that every single toy they release is also a troop builder. So, they will give you things like, oh yeah, just these little, actually here, small crit, these are the same piece. What's that screw? What's that screw doing? So, they, like, the animation for this, even though it comes off like a singular super robot, right? In the animation that debuted this design, there are like 6 or 7 of them in the background. So, there are some fans, you will find them in the mega thread on TFW, who do troop build some of this stuff, but you don't have to. You might even, because when I was trying to read up on Big Powered's hip issues, I came across a poster who said that he didn't feel the hip issues were a big problem, but his qualifier was, I have purchased 20 Big Powereds in my time. And I was like... I was like, I don't know that we are considered the same human beings in this context. Because, like, yeah, if you just buy 20 of everything, then you don't got too much to worry about. But that post, I was laughing my head off at that post, because I was like, it's like, the fact that there were no qualifiers, is he okay?
So the other thing that I've done with those pistols is they go well on top of the wings, for when it's like in its individual mode, so that it has another facing gun-ish thing, and that's where they live. Right now my X1 is in giant cannon mode with the over-the-shoulder guns flipped out into the longer guns mode. He's in a I'm doing all the shoe stings state.
Yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, Adam, I don't know if that person was a toy store owner or something. But there are just some collectors who decided Diaclone Reboot is their line, and I respect that. But yeah, just the part when it was like, there seems to be a commonality. There's enough of a commonality with the outward ratchets on this piece that Mandarake listings, almost as a form letter, will say, "Hey, this might be broken," on the item pages. And then someone was kind of going like, I don't know, I have 20 of them, and only one of them seemed to give me problems. And then someone kind of made the point that I thought was really salient of like, it's not even like, how did you buy 20? It's just like, if you have 20 of them, you probably only played with the one enough to break it. Like, you couldn't possibly have sat there playing with 20 separate toys that break into 5+ smaller toys enough to wear out all of their outward hip ratchets, right? Like, it's just math. Yeah, Ronnie Lane, also, 1 in 20, statistically, is still 5%. Yeah, there you go. Hey, what if this thing was just a transformer? We're gonna go to Scramble mode. We are the 5%. This is also like, and this is mentioned in the thread, I think, in that discussion when I found it, but like like, Takara Tomy changed that spring the second major time they did a big powered, and for the one after that, too. So, like, they changed it. There must have been something wrong with the first one. Just taking a ball peen hammer to 20 of these while downing a beer. We're all mortal. The one thing I have to be careful about, we recorded a podcast last night. I was trying to be careful about it too when I could remember, is like to take care of my throat a little bit. Like, it is my habit when I go to some kind of shit posting voice, it usually gets kind of rough like this. And I was like having to like stop myself a little bit subconsciously and go like, we can't start doing the funny voice. My throat hurts too much. Does this pass the pen test? We joking, but also I would say Diaclone Reboot of all toy lines.
It's like the top end of the pen test.
This is the top end of the trill. You don't get a trill that's better than this. You hear that? Oh, you that dense? Hear that dense one on the wing? Yeah. Does that now make me the only person on the entirety of YouTube to have done the stupid pen test on a Diaclone Reboot toy?
Maybe. But also, like, find a thing that's hollow to be hollow, not because there's something else going in there.
Listen, don't wreck the magic. Technically, that was a brush. I mean, what is a brush if not a pen for paint?
Checkmate, atheists.
Alright, so close up a bunch of panels.
Griffman, at this point, I believe $1,900 for both. If it's just both halves of Giant Robot base, is maybe on the slightly expensive side of things. If that's shipped.
Yeah, that's still, because you can still kind of get them before shipping for around $800 to $700 a piece, I think.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Shipping obviously is extremely expensive on Giant Robot base.
Yeah. Like I joked earlier on, I'm surprised it didn't come in a wooden crate, and that I needed a claw hammer or a breaker bar to get into.
It sounds like also that I am the only person to ever do the stupid pen test on a Diaclone Reboot toy. So oh, Option Zero says there may be someone offloading theirs to check the thread. It is not bigger than Unicron, but it is denser than Unicron.
Yes.
It is basically the other HasLab Unicron. If there was another toy like HasLab Unicron, it is it. It is about the size of Thrilling 30 Metroplex and Titan's Return Fort Max, but it is
bigger.
It's like, I'm just like in raw, like just to the top of the skull height. It's like similar like height, but
10-ish% bigger, I'd say.
Yeah, it's much wider.
That.
And
much wider, significantly more feature dense.
Like yeah, every single
orders of magnitude.
Every square inch of that toy is either a gimmick or a ratchet joint or both, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, just the lower half has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicle spots, kind of, sort of, I think. Something like that. 8 or 9 different places where vehicles go or live around it, and like enclosed spaces.
Oh, hey, I mean, I haven't seen you in a live chat. I don't think before. It's good to see you. Yeah, the giant robot base, the one thing it has over HasLab Unicron is it does split in half and compress into two vehicles that are sort of manageable size, sort of. Mm-hmm. So if you don't keep it in robot mode, it's not impossible to live with one.
And also, because it is so big and so heavy and the weight of the toddler, it has locking pieces that you put into the knees and the hips in order to keep it safely upright.
Yeah, they include, when Aaron showed me that, I looked into them a bit afterwards. They include bracers to stick into the knee joints and stuff. So it's like, if you are going to display this in robot mode, jam these bracers in so that the knee joints don't just implode one day from holding all this stuff.
It's not that they implode. It's that with the excess weight of Cloud Across on top of it, it just bends over.
Oh, or tips over. I mean, implode is my funny word.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, it's not that it breaks. Yeah. It's just that it's so top-heavy.
He just falls over one time.
I managed to massively blood blister one of my fingers for a while because I was taking him down and changing forms on him, and I'd pulled out those ratchets on one side, went to pull them on the other, and that was the moment that he just went with my finger in a bitey place.
To pause, the bracers seem hilarious till the first time the knee eats your finger as the toy topples over. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. That's what I was saying. Like, there was much profanity. A very concerned Alfie that went, "Oh, your toy bit you." Okay. I was like, "No, you come here, put your finger right here." And she's like, "No, I'm smarter than that." I'm like, yeah, you are.
Put your finger in this. This, by the way, is a bespoke hinge we have not used yet. That was the disconnecting part. I see.
Diaclone has a series of YouTube shorts that kind of give you a feel of the fiction.
Although they've gotten worse.
They've gotten worse. They seem like they've gotten lower quality, kind of.
Yeah, and the bummer is that the downturn started with giant robot base, and it bummed me out so much.
Yeah. See, I thought with the Gale 3-part and the appearance of the 4 Super Sentai team looking ones that maybe that was leaning into something, and then it hasn't, and now all of the stuff is just like, look at what's coming up with T-Spark, and then nothing.
It also, giant robot base is when they got voice actors, and I think that maybe their budget suddenly just went threadbare.
Yeah,
because they got Seiyu basically to actually say stuff. And then the animation kind of got a little bit more stiff. And I was like, they don't got to say anything.
Yeah, I feel like part of it's also, it's right as a bunch of stuff got transitioned into T-Spark, and I don't know if maybe that's some other part of, because now it's a whole bunch of different crossover things, and if it's, hey, we want to put the energy into the crossovers so that the people that really like whatever is, going to be more likely to pull things in than this niche line that we've let one guy spend his extra time on.
Robot Lord Keeper, that is correct. They're called Seiyu because they say things to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just following the instructions. This is the classic. The Scramble mode is a classic of Dia battles. You might remember a Fans Project toy that kind of resembled this. These could end up living here, because this is exactly the same hole I had them in before.
Yep.
Yeah, option 0. That's the thing that I noticed with the giant robot base animation is the model looked great, but what made stuff like Big Powered or the first Battle Convoy animation so killer was the storyboarding and weight and direction and sound design specifically. So for giant robot base, I was just like, I wanted to feel like that combination felt lighter than big powered standing up the first time. And I'm like, that's not right, though. Like, that's that should feel heavier. Also, though, if my biggest critique of Diaclone Reboot outside of any cost stuff is the animations they put up didn't, like, kind of got not as good, like, we're still in a good place. But yeah, sterile demos is a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that probably comes from most of this design, like, you know, are very clearly coming out of CAD. And if they've got the thing as a CAD model, they've got it as a CAD model, so it's easy enough to, like, you know where your hinge points are. You can go ahead and animate it.
I will say the newest animation that has X1 fighting against Warada Roars and Geist and ends on the Centaur shot, that was better than anything they've put out since Giant Robot Base. So I think you know, and the Toy Rise X Kaiser animations have been pretty okay as well. So they're finding their feet again. I'm confident they're gonna figure out some cool stuff going forward. But they definitely just had a period of, like, I guess, strife.
Funny that you took that part apart to next step is going to put it right back on.
I thought it was gonna use that to mount in.
No.
Oh well.
No, you do the slide onto that.
Well, I'm just following the instructions, you know.
Timu, that is on the Takara Tomy YouTube channel.
Ooh. Yeah, if you look up Diaclone animation, it will start to show some of it. It's actually every animation has been double posted now on the T-Spark channel or the Takara Tomy channel or the Takara Tomy Asia channel.
And there are some bangers in there. The Battle Convoy.
Yeah, Battle Convoy, not greater. That one's good, but Battle Convoy, the first one, VMAX, I think is still the best one they've ever done. The big powered one holds up amazingly well, given that it was, like, so early on. Ah! Holy moly. Yeah, why do they tell you to do this in 2 parts? This would be way easier as just the one.
I don't know. Probably because they don't assume that you had those together before. Like, not necessarily that you were coming from the drone mode.
Never assume. They didn't know what mode I'd have it in coming out when I was coming to the next part of the instruction book. Lazy.
Everything Diaclone Reboot is now getting the big T-Spark brand on it. That, I think, is just Takara Tomy's, hey, this is a premium item brand. Because the crossover stuff has had it, the MPG gets it.
Oh, I see why.
All of that stuff is getting branded with it.
Yeah, T-Spark just means bespoke collector product now. It's not really like a brand or design aesthetic of its own.
Takara released
Tasori totally.
Yet, like they did Sunstreaker and Corden. I don't think I've seen it.
I have not myself. Oh,
like Tamashii Nation's Premium Bandai. Yeah, that's kind of their signifier of, like, hey, this isn't, you know, these are the adult toys, but not like the adult.
This
toys, you know?
This ain't for kids.
Yeah, this is bringing the punk back to Diaclone.
That's horrible. Finally, we're bringing the punk back to Diaclone. Horrible. Yeah, that terrible version of Hasbro, Tasori Tomy. People used to come up with Takara ones back. Was it Slackara, I think I've seen before.
Yeah, I think I remembered one like that during an early hiccup.
Slackara, and like when I read that, I was just like, I hope your mother has congratulated you for the.
Yeah.
I hope your friends and family are proud of you and that you're having a very good Sunday. Oh, it says to put them in the instructions. It says to put the guns here at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, that might be why I left mine there, as good places to stay for those out of this mode.
Here is a scramble mode. So it still is pretty intimidating, I think, if you just saw this thing flying at you.
Yeah.
It's be like, what
and
the hell?
And you can, like, wing him back and give him, like, a go faster mode.
Oh, yeah. If it did that as it was coming towards me, I would just surrender. I'd just be like, nope, I give up.
It's like, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm just going to put it underneath my chin. Yeah, we're good.
Whatever the hell your wings are sweeping back to do, I don't even want to see. I give up. I don't.
I don't need to see the particles coming in front of your guns like it's getting ready to do something.
Oh, you put on the shields 4mm holes. You put these guns up there. I could see that. That could be kind of cool. And you get more of an arrow shape.
Yeah. Which, again, is the wonder of this, because it's just covered in 4mm holes.
Yeah.
And...
well, also the wonder of the fact that, yeah, there is no single one of any Diaclone robot, so
yeah,
there is no cannon, really, for you to break.
Every pilot has their own favored configuration. Yeah, robot lore keeper. I can take him. Chunk. Oh, yeah. Okay, I completely give up everything I ever stood for.
Nope, the wings swept back. Something horrible's going to happen to me if I continue this. Yeah, that does look pretty cool, too.
Distant, ominous noise.
Well, also,
I don't like that.
Also, what if it just did this, even with just one? I'd be like, no! Yeah. I don't know why your gun just did that, but if your gun did that when you look like this already...
why is it suddenly angrily asymmetric? What is that going to do to me? And any children I may have in the future.
It's like, yeah, I don't want any part of this. No, I refuse.
And I'd almost say if there was like a red Horus Versalter cockpit, it would look so dope.
I anticipate that before the tactical movers fully retire, they're going to do some bits and pieces of them as decaliber.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, option 0. I saw the post in the thread. Yeah, you don't, when you're messing with this stuff, don't bash these antennae, because they're not PVC. They are not like the old one. I believe it was, what was it, like one of these rotated into one, and then, like, cacked it off, basically. Oh, that's different.
Dropping a pod grander on it.
I dropped a pod grander on it. Yeah, that'll also
do it. That'll break most things.
That would break my hand. Well, I guess for human bones on my... I think you'd have to throw it at me to break bones, but I would still be in pain if you dropped it on me. I wouldn't be sounding like a cool guy if you dropped it on me. All right, I'm going to go through these final modes, I think.
Oh, the 2-part modes, yeah.
Yeah, so another thing, and this was another thing that original Diabattles did, is there were several 2-component gattais that were bespoke as well. So this one has more. But it's another very cool feature of this, design pattern.
Got it. Gargoyle, and then Gargoyle, like, animal mode, Griffin, and then the more animal mode, and then Gorgo. And then all the different ways that you can X-cross it.
I do not have the original Timu, no. I don't have any... Outside of, like, maybe a Power Dasher that is actually not a Power Dasher, I don't have any old Diaclone stuff.
Yes, the Calgaba. Gorgo. It is the legs and the chest cockpit.
It turns into the Gorgo. From 300. Oma Ender, I have been trying to look into the nature of the third-party add-on parts market for Diaclone, and I don't 100% understand it. A lot of it sounds like in 3D printer land, which is sort of outside of my wheelhouse. But there are also, what are they called? Aaron, I forgot if those are the ones you got, but there are those out of Japan.
The hobby... The something hobby.
There's a Japanese group who make really nice steel sticker add-ons.
Colored steel sticker add-ons, which is significantly better. So like, talking about giant robot base where it has a giant set of sticker sheets that are just metal stickers, so that your Dianauts with their magnet feet can stand on things. It gives them a bunch of places that they can stand securely. But there is a group out there that made sticker sets to replace those that are colored and textured, and so that it looks like, warning, caution panels, rather than just black.
Yeah, and there's also the third-party water stickers. My understanding is they aren't exactly like water slide decals. They're more like those weird water stickers I interacted with once for a Mastermind Ocular Max piece. At least that was my understanding, but I might be wrong. Volks makes a line called V-Lockers Joints. V-Lockers Joints. Ships from Los Angeles, variety of 4mm pegs and sockets. I need to write that down. I'm going to forget that. Excuse me. More tea, please.
There's no excuse.
Yeah. A couple things I was very fortunate to purchase before COVID happened were the specific, among other things, the Diaclone Chronicles, three different mooks. I don't know what they are, but it's the little powered suit and a couple of those buildable kits that go with it. My understanding is because I have those three, I have a massive supply of peg connectors now. I just have them all in a bag.
I had a bunch of 3 to 4 male, 3 to 4 male to up a size, down a size.
Yeah. Just my understanding is I was very fortunate to get the Chronicles sets. I just had them on pre-order, and then they showed up in 2020. And I was depressed for most of 2020, and I didn't look at them. And then, a year or two later, I was like, I'm going to open these. Oh, yeah, it's just it's that Starbucks brand. It's a David's mug, but it has a steeper that sits in that you can lift out, and then the top you can use as a stand for the steeper. I really like it. It's not that well made, but it's very cute.
I like it. It's kind of garbage, but it's cute.
Well, it's David's tea, so it's it's fine. It's nice. I wouldn't call it oh, it's so
It totally does the job that you need it to.
I would only buy it from David's tea. Yeah, Lee, I'm kind of in the I kind of prefer room temperature to cold tea. I need to get warm tea in me right now for the sake of my throat.
Exactly. Only buy Tea Spark branded premium tea.
I only buy Takara tea because it's better than Hasbro tea. My throat. Yeah, long. It's like my lady, but it's my throat. It's my other lady. That's weird. It's a weird thing to say. Don't say that. Yeah. Don't do like I do. Yeah, Option Zero. I have been looking at some of the knockoff maneuver suits because I have an original maneuver Gamma, the black one. And I was thinking of just getting 3 or 4 of the knockoffs to put the other number stickers onto, and those appear to come with some more of the 3mm joints.
That's been the reason why I probably should have before the whole politics thing.
Well, you
jumped on a bunch of the knockoff Resalters, just the gammas.
Those just disappeared overnight though. Like I've been looking at them for a while.
Yeah, well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Getting a bunch of those gammas has always been one of those things. Like, oh yeah, I should do that, and then like didn't.
Yeah.
And then just recently I've now got all 3 of the armor kits and the extra core kits and all that stuff, and now I'm like, if I put this on somebody else, and I've got these suits that need, or these cores that need suits.
Toy Guy, cheese and crackers. Agreed, I've had those. Chris Muse,
yeah.
It's Diaclone Wolverine because it's Dia Battles X1, so I went to look for the X-Man, Logan Howlett, and I put a Diaclone head on him. But I was going to say, this is also to everyone, really, like, because this is going to be a really easy thing to feel in the coming months, probably. And I will say, if I sound like I'm kind of quoting my own panel series, maybe I am. I think my panel series might also be a really helpful thing to spread around in the coming months. If only because a lot of thoughts are collected there, and it's an easy way to deliver them. But I think a lot of the things I talk about in those panels is very relevant now for individual collectors still being any kind of happy in their hobby. But try to resist, because it's going to be really easy to do this, to feel like you messed up by not getting in before all the tariff stuff happened, basically. Because you know, even if, you know, because I know that the information was out there, like, well, you know, it was in the party line, blah blah. Regardless, it is cartoonishly bludgeoning how this has run a train through the brick wall of multiple buildings of different hobbies. And you as an individual, as far as just your hobby space, not necessarily like your wider knowledge of your country and its workings, but just in your hobby space, I think it's okay and it's forgivable that you didn't prepare for it. So it's going to be natural to feel like you should have. Not to everybody, obviously. Some of y'all are just going to be like, what are you talking about? But you should not feel guilty for not preparing enough, and I would say, like, you know, be kind to yourself and don't. You've got to stay liquid right now, as possible. Liquid and just react to what happens and prioritize yourself as much as you can. This is all I'm doing. That's actually kind of cool. Sorry, I'm just realizing these joints are forming the bird-like shapes up here.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the gargoyle, right? Yeah, it's the gargoyle.
Yep.
It can land. For spring, and consider buying secondhand from fellow collectors. Yes!
Yeah.
That is something that, especially domestically, I guess. Especially domestically, probably. Which leaves me out of it, which bums me out. But regardless. Yeah, Lee Kalba has stuff for sale. I believe I've reposted them on Blue Sky before. Lee Tiwa's on Blue Sky. Also, I am loving the little itty-bitty legs. Yeah, this is... Can this hold it up? Yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm.
Is my board.
And now you get to make the kind of psycho mode.
You can even fold these. Can you fold these down a little bit? You can kind of make it look like it's resting. It's like, ah. Yeah, Lee underscore Tiwa's on Blue Sky. They got some stuff up for sale. All right, what's the next one? Oh, was there more gargoyle to do?
Well, so no, that's like, so each of the 2-part combos has 2 modes.
Oh.
So again, that was the like more vehicle-y mode. Because you weren't even necessarily supposed to have him like on his feet. That's like his flying mode.
Oh,
and now you're making the more animal mode.
I see. Oh my god, I didn't even notice this. There's little footlets.
Uh-huh.
Also, yes, I agree with Verspringen. That me and Verspringen are have very similar. I guess you could call them versions of optimism. But it is meant to be optimism, not in the toxic positivity vein, which I know people are very wary of right now. It is meant to be coming from a somewhat pragmatic place. My phrasing is always just, be liquid. As liquid as you reasonably can.
Some Bruce Lee, be like water.
Yeah. That is kind of the best way to go about this sort of stuff when, and this is not really speaking to the current situation. This is more of a broader concept. It's one I'm not very good at yet, but I appreciate the thought behind it, so I still share it, which is in times of wide and varied distress, it is good to try to focus on whatever is under your control directly. Whatever you can directly control, even if that's just the placement of pillows on a couch. Just like do what you can in spaces where you absolutely can control those spaces. At the very least,
I wish I could remember there was a book that I read in like 21.
Yeah,
that was from a fighter pilot.
This is way more of a bird. You're right.
Yeah, it was a fighter pilot, and he was talking about like some of the ways to handle stress, among other things. But there was a whole chunk of like, hey, some life lessons, and that is very much one of those things of like, hey, if you're in a situation and there's a bunch of stuff going sideways, like the best thing you can do is focus on what do I have control over, what can I affect, how can I affect it to get to something better for me or those that you care about.
Yeah.
And then start to expand out from there, because if you don't take care of yourself first and your own internal circle first, then no amount of worrying about what's happening over there is going to matter. He was specifically talking about, I think, like, evading the other jet that's coming to get me is more important than worrying about the thing that's happening 100 miles away.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not the best at taking my own advice, but I think that I had an epiphany on this a couple years ago, because I used to really shirk this idea of like, no, I must change the world, but it's very easy to get paralyzed when you look at the entire planet at once. You should look at the entire planet now and then to kind of stay up to date with what's going on, but you need to have a valve on it, and then have something like, I'm not saying go buy an expensive Diaclone toy, but for instance, you have a toy, right? And I went into this in the most recent panel I posted, the de-stressing your collector distress. I think it's helpful to be able to take a toy you own, even if it's just like, a little guy, a little powered suit. By the way, there's a little guy in there. Hello. And being able to kind of like, at least for a few minutes, turn your entire world into the desk you're sitting at and this little toy, and then just kind of mess with it a bit. Like, that's one of the things we toy collectors have, is we have tactile objects that generally don't require electricity to run. So we have it in our potential to turn our whole world, at least for a few minutes, into like one of these. Like a little guy, he's got a couple little modes, he's got a little cockpit, and you just kind of sit with it, and it doesn't have to be for hours and hours, but even just for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, and just make that your world for a bit. It's not going to fix the world, but it might at least help you center a little bit. That's been my operating word lately I've been going with, is just like,
like a form of meditation.
Yeah, almost like a form of meditation.
Very specifically what it is. It's like a moving meditation. That's
almost kind of like a form of moving meditation.
Yeah. When you do a good Lego build and you just like focus on that and then realize it's 3 hours later.
Yeah. So I don't know. Excuse me. I'll get back to jabbering my Diaclone now, but since it had come up a little bit, I wanted to share a little bit of not advice, but hopefully some helpful concepts for some folks. Because we're in them times. So that's also why I wanted to. I'm very excited that I got like a couple things I know I can stream, like this, and then tomorrow, probably tomorrow, because I'm gonna get impatient. King X Kaiser, Because, hey, it's some stuff that we can just, like, zone in on, focus in on, just have a good time with, and then AO. Lee Calbo, it's why I was painting Violence Husband and watching MST. Yeah. It's important to have your escapes. That's why I wanted that panel to be specifically about de-stressing. Although it's very funny that, like, for the de-stressing panel, it opened with, like, well, nobody's here. So let's just yell at each other a bunch.
How do we talk about stress when there's nobody here? This isn't stressful.
Well, I thankfully, like, I kind of knew what was going to happen going in.
Yeah.
Like, the moment, because I was fine with it, but the moment he was like, yeah, you're going to open the show, and I was like, okay, let me look at the schedule. So I'm opening the show when registration opens. Mm-hmm. So no one will be there for the first 30 minutes or so. But it's fine. We can make it work. Clearly, to discuss stress, one must be stressed. I mean, yeah, those usually come hand in hand a little bit. Not gonna lie.
There you go. Slide those arms back.
This whole thing does feel so friggin' like I've been playing with V2 for a while over the weekend, like trying to put my thoughts, mostly to organize my script at first, because like as you can see, these are potentially sprawling toys. So the reason why it's taken me at least 8 years to even consider reviewing one, part of it is like I would look at them, I would just get daunted. I'd be like, I don't know how to even remotely talk about this.
Advice from my father, God rest his soul. How do you eat an elephant?
Piece at a time, yeah. Timu, first half of the panel made exclusively for VOD watchers. So we had some people in the room, as you could, if you've seen it, you can tell. But yeah, we like I stated up front, like the not the AV staff, but the fellow who was working the microphone was like, "Do you want to wait 5 minutes?" And I was like, I mean, we could, but like I don't really need to, because I'm perfectly fine to just goof around and vamp a little bit. I think I had to tell somebody, one or two people, what vamping means, and so I kind of felt like a scumbag. So I was like, oh no, I'm all Hollywood.
Like, it's when you undo your belt and unzip and... Oh, no, wait. That's called a Weinstein.
Oh, dang. You, on the podcast, too, you're the first one who treaded in your tariff talk. It's like, what's this? Aaron? Yeah. Aaron is friggin' on his rated PG-13 tour now.
Again, I know I've said multiple times before, I used to work on construction sites, man. That's, profanity's punctuation half the time.
No, for real.
Need to put a bullet core in front of that.
Which means Aaron is the dangerous one.
No, you gotta pull the bullet core off the front.
Yeah, I'm choosing to skip a step where they're like, first have a bullet core there. And I'm like, no.
So I think that is imagining that you're starting from the sky vehicle thing.
Yeah.
And yes, Chris, I am the dangerous one. That's...
wait a second.
I'm the one with all the farmland, and they'll never find your body. I mean,
he's telling the truth. There we go.
Yes, I am the one who helicopters. I have my tail rotor blade that looks like Alita Battle Angel.
Skylar.
What hers was.
You think I'm the one who... You think I'm the one in danger? You think a propeller could decapitate me?
Yeah, Oma, and profanity is punctuation in the right crowds. When you're suddenly in like a professional, I need to be in slacks and a polo shirt, it's a little bit harder to be like, just running your mouth all the time. Or not Alita Battle Angel, Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, or whatever it was, where she was the battle angel. I
am the battle angel.
Yeah.
This ain't lining up right. I'm missing something.
It should.
Am I supposed to be doing something else with the...
It helps to push the button on the thing as you push it together?
Because I feel like the wings are clapping onto these side things. Make sure I'm aligned correctly. And we're like this. Head is there.
I don't remember mine giving me the hard time that yours is giving you.
Yeah, it's weird. I am oh, hey, these are pegged in, by the way.
Yeah.
It's these basically. They're in the way when they're here.
Maybe shift them down a little bit.
Yeah, how did I do that last time?
Well, no, it's so like because it's kind of double jointed there because it's two kind of pin joints.
Because I mean, I think I could just lift the wings up.
Yeah, try lifting the wings up just a touch. No, not like that. As at the rotator.
Oh, yeah. Mechanova King and Eric Palermo in the same place at the same time. How could that possibly ever happen? Kayfabe.
And then there you go. There's the vehicle mode.
This is the this is Griffin bunch of kanji mode. I can only read katakana.
Let's see if Google Translate photos is any good here.
Oh, thank you, Cliff. I always forget about that. Yeah, please do like the stream and the Sleem if you can. It's the button that's over there. It's easy to forget about.
Mecha mode, Griffin, high-speed movement mode.
High-speed movement. I sent the message, switch my accounts happened twice. Yeah. No, we gotta maintain the Pokeroo thing here. Like, you missed Eric again. Dang it! One of these days, you two will encounter each other. On nuts and shucks.
That's mecha mode. Transforms into a griffin. Remove the parts shown in the picture. Store the parts shown in the picture.
Okay.
Wake up the wing.
Wake up! Dun, 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 dun. Oh. I actually have to do a full waist rotation on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
That way you can get the chicken walker chicken knees.
Yeah. Alright, so we're still looking like this. And we're lifting that up. Ooh.
This has you go for whole foot splay.
Okay, then I'm sticking this thing.
It becomes like a tail.
Oh, I see. I wonder how tightly this goes in. Into the taint.
You just got to get it up in the gunge.
Up the gunge. What's that thing? When you're buying sour cream in the grocery aisle and someone kicks you in the taint with a gun. I think that's in.
Yeah.
All right. So what?
God, you ripped his arm off.
Nobody tell anyone I did that. Make sure we all know I'm the best gamer. Why do I feel like it asked me to straighten the... It didn't. Okay.
No.
Keep it organic.
It's very much like a creepy... This, to me, reads more as gargoyle, like...
Yeah.
Weird beast thing.
Well, like, to say gargoyle and griffin felt kind of odd to me, because I was like...
Yeah.
Given what we're working with, those are more synonym than...
Yeah.
I feel like we're leaning towards, or inching towards, high-level freaky cyborg Digimon with this body shape. Yeah. Like, Mang Motion came up with a dino mode for this that looked pretty okay.
Does the head tilt down a little bit more?
That's me just taking it off.
Okay.
I think that the joint stops there. Oh, no, it can go down here, but then the head can't fit in.
Okay.
Whoa, his tail.
Lee Calba, fun fact, technically it's only a gargoyle if water pours out of its mouth.
I gotta add that
otherwise, it's just a stone goblin.
Stone goblin? Same root as gargle. Legit. So, assumedly, that means this thing is dribbling out of the front of its... What is the sword sheath? Or, guard.
Yeah. It's a grotesque. See, I was trying to make like a sparkling wine versus champagne joke, but nah. You go and give us actual interesting knowledge. Thanks.
It's time for Gorgo. So let me just figure out how to easily disengage some of the stuff I've done.
I'd say just grab something and shake, but it's Diaclone it'll hold together, most likely. Yeah.
Hey!
Hey!
It kind of worked.
If you're not using that part at all.
Okay.
Lee Calba, no, it won't float. If you've held one of these, it's dense.
Yeah, this will sink. This will sink.
Yeah.
This one, so given my knowledge as someone who tried to make a toy float, part of what made that not work was its hollowness and number of inner hollow spaces. Diaclone Reboot toys are chock full of inner hollow spaces because they're full of little worky moving bits. Speaking as I'm something of a toy drowner myself. It's just designed to sink to the bottom of a Tupperware thing full of water. That vid is still up if people want to mass watch it to get ad clicks.
Really confuse the algorithm.
It would be fun if that video like hit the algorithm again. There's more people going like, "Why did you do this?" Yeah, it was Mastermind Creations' Hearts of Steel Shockwave. It's just like, listen, that was a review sample. I was reviewing it. People asked in the first review video, "Hey, can this thing float?" So I was like, "All right, smart guy, I'll call your bluff."
Your face float? Yeah. Didn't think so. Jerk.
What I'll say is the MMC boss man apparently thought it was extremely funny. So it worked out for everybody. I'm sorry, are there moving bits on these knees I just haven't noticed till now? Oh no, that's just the tank tread piece. Never mind.
Yeah, that's the backside of the tank tread piece.
I thought for a second, like, do these things pull out?
Hell, they might. I don't know.
Yeah. Make a boat and not expecting people to think it do boat things. But related to that, one reason, I think I talked about this before, one reason why the Tetrajet test kind of went away is because, how do I put this? The nature of trying to do it with a semblance of academic interest meant that it just never seemed to look satisfying to anybody. Because my idea was, well, you're not going to ever actually full arm hurl a toy at a wall, so maybe I should give it just a toss. But then the toss would either make people get really uncomfortable, but worse, most people would go like, well, that's not a real throw. And I'd be like, okay, but like if we're just going to talk about hurling a toy at a wall, then they will all break. So like, I thought we were here for academia, you know? I thought we were being my hero. I didn't think we were here to be foolish.
It's not the best connection. It's never been a good connection for me.
I was just thinking because it's on a sliding part, like maybe there's an element to that. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's using the back one way more, no matter what I do.
Yeah.
And then are we just, wait, how is this connected? Oh, okay.
The red dot pieces.
Interesting.
Yeah, the one place those get used, I believe.
I would not shake test this right now.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you communicating to me here? Oh, I get it. So this is actually just using the whatever, the Triverse joint, but as a locking tab.
The X-Cross joint.
The X-Cross, yes.
The X-Cross system.
The X-Cross system, Triverse in parentheses. Oh, those do seat snugly, though. I like that. Oh, this is so number one, this does look kind of like a submarine. That's kind of funny. This is reminding me, someone way earlier ago said, did you see the metal card bot that is the Shark submarine? I have. That one is from Season 2. That one looks extremely dense. It looks like fun. So yeah, this is the Gorgo high-speed travel mode. Turn it upside down. Stick him up. Stick him up. It's a robbery. Stick him up. Just kidding. It's a submarine. Don't be so gullible. Wait. Oh, okay. It's saying because I'm here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So this being the next panel made me incredibly confused for a second.
Oh.
I was like, what? But I am guessing they're like, you know, this would be easier if you just are in that leg mode.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
We showed you how to do it before. You don't need to do it again.
Yeah, I'll get there. Why do those pictures have so much line work? I think it's still the same way Transformers instructions are done from the base level.
Yeah, those are the CAD models. he's dropped things.
I dropped my little dead battery that I've been using as a magnet tester. The SUV fellow with the cowboy hat. Yeah, that's the one with the whip, right, Connor? That one also looks really good. Yeah, Iridescent, that new video for Blast Train is the one where I'm like, I would be so, if I can do it, I would be so tempted to just pay the extra like $20-30 to get it right away from Korea. Because that one just looks amazing. Oh, I'm already almost there. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to stick the funny tail on. Jumbo Jet Centaur is now out in Korea if you're okay to pay, like, more than AliExpress, basically. Yeah, his name's Glober. The Indiana Jones one. So is this going to say... Yeah, okay.
Then yeah, it's basically like just the first part in its default mode, almost.
Do I have enough room? I have enough room. Oh, but I don't have enough room to spin it around. Oh, well.
No.
Oh, now I can see what they want me to do with these. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, like this. Okay. Sometimes, because it's line art and it's funny shapes I don't recognize, when they say, like, just do this, I'm like, what did you do? I don't understand what just happened. Well, this is odd. It's...
a thing.
It's the Gorgo!
You all remember when Gorgo said it's Gorgo in time?
I'm here and I'm ready to Gorgo! Aww! He's Gorgon! Alright, well, the only thing left for me to do is grab the nearly decade-old original.
This is what I want to see now.
Yeah. Let's start with a quick backpack swap.
This may impact me pre-ordering the 3 re-release pieces.
Hey, Gorgo, why don't you stand over here for a second? Nearly 10 years apart, and they connect like a glove.
Nice.
That's amazing. Like, this year, it is 8 years or 9 years apart, I think, that these toys came out, if I remember right.
I'm all disappointed that it seems like those reds aren't quite the same red.
So, the reissue, if I dug around, the reissue is changing the red to this red.
Okay, to that more crimson,
yeah,
maroon red, yeah.
The reissue's changing the reds. They're taking the red lightning retools, which are that these PVC antennae are going to be hard plastic but slightly thicker, and then these hands are going to be, they're PVC on this one in just one piece. They're ABS with a knuckle hinge on the reissue. But I am amazed at how solid that connection was on the friggin' DA11 version. That's a testament, in my opinion. Let me switch some legs on, too.
Well, Connor, like... I'm okay with some of the color stuff not lining up because so much of the rest of the line, especially like when it comes to things like Versalters, each different thing, it's like different units in the military. So it's not like he didn't have the right paint mix, it's just that one of them is, you know, 1st Grenadiers and the second one is, you know, 4th Airborne or something like that.
That's more solid than the DA11 connection. Oh, why did my exposure suddenly pop up? Hang on. That's
random button get hit.
Horrid. Me, there I am. Sometimes the configure video on this gets confused too. No auto.
Hey, we've been running just fine for almost 3 hours here. I need to push some things.
Oh, the other one did it too. Look at that.
Yeah.
I hope it hasn't been like that for a while.
No, it just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, getting paid in exposure.
There we go. We back. Ow, I pinched my finger when I noticed that. I got the little Diaclone bite just now. Oh, it undid my friggin' focus too. You scum.
Sees the face on the blood angel in the back and says, surely that's what you want, not what's taking up the majority of the screen.
There we go. Okay, just a couple seconds, thank goodness. Only like 30 minutes. Yeah, that connection on a DA11 is rock solid. I can only imagine on the reissues it's going to be better.
Yeah.
I am curious. What do I have open here? Because one thing about big powered that's sort of annoying is that the leg connections are inverse.
Mm-hmm.
So the male and female have been swapped, so it's not very easy to switch the legs on. However, as more things are coming out, it makes me curious if I can just make some neat VS connections.
Stump to stump.
Stumping it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're stumping it. Especially because this thing is just its own little, you know, here's... Like, this is a mode, because these are boosters. This little crotch flying around, like friggin' King Joe.
Talking before about asymmetric weaponry being scary, just you see a crotch flying at you, what do you do?
Like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's too deep, so you can't even get a grip on it. No, okay.
Yeah. They're smarter than you.
Big Powered's day has not yet come for the cross-compat. Like, you can do the arms, but...
Yeah, I was going to say the arms. Those are...
Yeah. But also the arms are in another room. Too far away. I want to try something else interesting.
I'm going to say X2 isn't... That's not a bullet core in his chest, is it? It's something that's close to...
Oh, this thing. Yeah, this is built in. So this doesn't come out.
I guess I was thinking the other two have vehicles that come off that made me think that was potentially bullet core-ish.
So this one is kind of just funny looking. Yeah. And this one is a whole thing.
And then one of those plugs in front of the other.
Yeah, and then you get the bullet fighter. And this thing is pretty cool, and it's got a motorcycle just chilling out in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you wish your shuttle had a motorcycle just chilling out in the back? Talk about being under the enemy scrotum. That's correct. The enemy scrotum is just following me around. It's bullying me. Stop. Stop. I just want to see if I can do a powered suit plug-in. Also, because powered suits, not necessarily this one, but the family this is from is one of the longest-lived Diaclone knockoff families, and one of the most solid over the years.
Rail on the sides there?
Yep. So yeah, this little guy can, like, man this. And we can hook this in. Just plug in a couple of legs. So the inherent storytelling of this is, imagine that, like, you know, a couple of dia battles got blown up and just pieces, you know, fell from the sky. This one lone powered suit, like, just hooked into 2 hunks that he found, or 3 hunks. So it's like just like a scrap together, like, the fight isn't over yet kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. What's the power? What's the freeze on?
Yeah,
the power source. It's just like, I don't know, you pour a little bit of this on some technology and it works. Don't worry about don't think about physics. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So like this is also like the way that they draw you towards the notion of like, what if I just had a couple? Because then you can just like you can just build goofy things, right?
Yeah, this is why I'm currently looking at the pre-orders for DA 112 through 114 now. You jerk.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do those or a second TM34 for the tactical grandeur.
I would say I know what you'd get out of a second tactical grandeur, but I think you would perhaps get more desk play out of a Dia Battles V2.
Yeah, I know. I know. But
oh, I know.
A second tactical grander's only $75. Getting all 3 of those is more, $190.
True. Oh, I'm so happy the powered suit gets to interact with X1. Like, there's no reason why I wouldn't, but like, this specifically is an interaction that would be so easy to just ditch by now. And I think it's because also, I forgot I have a bullet core now. You can stick the bullet core in here too. And again, this is a pilot who's just like, the fight isn't over yet. Actually, Aaron, hold the fort for a second. I'm gonna go grab a few more bullet cores.
All right. So is this another question time with Aaron segment? I'll lead off with like, hey, there's my extra life link. Chris's is in the video description. If we make each of us that makes $100 this month, before the end of the month, we get a dice tower from Extra Life. So if you can donate, you should donate because it helps sick kids, and then we get some stuff to help us do board game and stuff. Best joke, man. I mean, I've got jokes, but it's more like what are we doing? How did I meet Vangelus? We think so. Like, both of us had been on TFW 2005 for a long time. Like in the way back, which is part of what we talk about in our history streams. But I feel like the first time that we might have like casually met would have been BotCon 2002 in Fort Wayne. We were both there. We were like around things. I remember meeting a bunch of TFW people. He says he remembers meeting some of them, but being super awkward, shy. And then I feel like maybe 04, 05 would have been maybe the next meeting of us. But yeah, I mean, we just frequently known each other through the boards, because TFW 2005 was a lot smaller. You knew everybody that was there and posting in one way or another. When you reached 1,000 posts, you used to get jumped in, and you'd make a thread saying, "Haha, I made 1,000 posts. I'm now one with the Matrix," and everybody would pretend to beat you up with baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire and AIDS or something. Man, it was the early 2000s. We didn't know what the hell we were doing.
We're back.
This sort of content on my channel when I'd need to actually have a channel and do things with it. I used to do Lego life builds. I'd build big expensive Lego kits, and then I continued to have internet issues and got out of buying massive amounts of silly Lego kits for financial things.
I got some cores.
Yeah. Early TFW sounds violent, man. It was like kids that thought they knew that they were gangster.
Everyone was no older than about 30 in early TFW.
Yeah. 30 was the elders on old TFW.
Yeah.
And like there was a serious like East Coast and West Coast contingent, and both of those were known for things. Favorite mech of the moment? I really liked playing with X1. He's been floating around, and Super Ginrai that has been living on my desk for quite a bit. Super Ginrai probably beats out X1 just due to raw nostalgia, what with Super Ginrai being my original Optimus Prime.
I'm just trying out some of the. I'm seeing
Argo a little bit too big.
Yeah, a lot of the tactical mover ones are just a little bit too beefy to fit onto the front of this one.
Yes, Timu, the MPG masterpiece. How did I get
this one
into
fits.
How did I get into Transformers? Probably my mom and or dad thought that these looked like cool toys for a little kid and bought them for me, and then that was it. I'm pretty sure Dad was the one that really liked Mask, but then pretended like it was my toys, because he would specifically stop after work to try and find everything. I had the vast majority of the season 1 and 2 of Mask before my younger brother got them, and anything that looked like it was potentially a plane should fly. And those toys weren't made for that rough and ready of play. So I now only have parts of my old Mask. Yeah, that one looks dope.
Yeah. That's what a lot of the tactical mover cores do, by the way, is they kind of have a little self-transformation for that mode. There's still a little pilot inside.
Did you grab a Horus core?
Horus and Gale are still in their boxes, so they're the ones that weren't easily at hand.
I feel like the Horus core might fit well because of how it really folds in on itself.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Horus core is very similar to these two in shape, but it's more of a little jet. For whoever was looking at the Argo, this is the Argo core. So this is the one that's like a little dirigible.
Dirigible submarine. Dirigible's up in the sky.
Oh,
the exact opposite.
It's a little water dirigible.
Yeah. It has a sonar dome on the nose of it.
Oh yeah, it does.
It's like a little sensor ball thing.
Turn that down slightly.
And like little dive plane missile bits on the side of them.
Yeah, and like these can,
and,
peg off.
Yeah, and then I think his head, the stock head, actually kind of looks like, yeah, looks very hydrodynamic.
Yeah. For those who think that these little things are cool, they do sell two 2-pack, two 2-packs and a 3-pack of these with different heads and different colors and some Dianauts.
Yeah. So the cool thing is the Horus one has 4 different heads for all 4 different releases.
Yeah, and I talked myself out of trying to collect those really fast.
I just yourself a disservice.
I just wanted to get the non-named color scheme for each one, so that they're like the little Sentai team.
The default color schemes?
Yeah, yeah. Because also those tend to be the cheaper colors. But I wanted to show off. One of the real gets off Mandarake is I got a Gamma. Not the OG Gamma, that one is still ridiculously expensive. For no good reason, by the way. But this is the Gamma with the wing pack. So this is like the most basic Versalter. This is just a Versalter with a wing pack attached. So you take the wing pack off?
That in the little animated fiction, the wing pack is like disposable. Like
yeah.
It's a deployment rig. They land on the ground and the wings just go off and then are kicking butts and taking names.
And this one I think is the automated one. Forgot how this one opens all of a sudden.
Yeah, you were right about there.
Yeah. This one's finicky.
Slide the head up so that it's not pushing in the way.
I don't think I push or pull on it. I do just fold this up.
No, it's like a rotate action.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember now. It's been a minute since I messed with this one.
It should be that lip right there that you've got your thumb on.
This one?
That bit right there, yeah.
Ugh. Might just be sticky.
She's trying. I think the problem also is that like the Dianaut can get.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then this little console also can flip open. I think, yeah.
So you can get the Dianaut out, yeah.
So there's a little pilot in there. But yeah, I wanted one of each of the 7 molds, or like most base molds. And so for Gamma, because the normal Gamma, just because it's the black Gamma, that seems to make it expensive. But it's a super bare bones release, and it usually goes for way more than the other ones. I caught the wing pack one on Mandarake for like 7,000 yen when I was trying to group buy this stuff, and I bundled this with either the Orbital, the Argo, or the Orbital. I can't remember which one I bundled it with. But yeah, this is what all of the tactical movers look like in their base form. Is you take the shields off. They're all one of these.
It's like a little hover truck thing.
Yeah. So, say that you got, this X1, you could also stick its little bullet core on there, right? And it should still line up. Yeah. So those peg holes and these little peglets sink around them.
Thug buster pistols that sit on this hip the whole time.
Yeah. So most tactical movers, Versalters that you see are this body, but then a thing that attaches to it in some way.
Get the heel spurs to drop down too.
Yeah, the original Black Gamma costs more than any of the ones that come with more stuff now, so... hang on a sec, I'm just going to... This exposure is either too dark or too bright. Wait, that's mine. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could just get like the black Gale for the black frame. But yeah, there's also these little thingamies back here. Most of the other Versalters don't do that self-contained alt mode. They have like something that's sort of based around it, but it's more based on whatever you slap onto the back on these connector ports.
Still got the airborne landing gear thing on this waist as well. But...
Yeah, that's you know that's to fight off in melee. It's his little legs to kick with. Yeah, most of these. So the one thing they don't sell officially on its own, which I think is leaving money on the table, is these.
Yeah.
If they sold these single, they would make bank. They.
Yeah, since I got like my second or third one of them, and option 0, thank you for the donation. I just saw hit my extra life.
Oh hell yeah!
I've been like, hey, I would love to have like, imagine if they had those verse frames in like the same yellow that's on the D Vehicle 5 like recovery suit things, or in like a fire engine red or something like that. Just like turn that up to 11 of like, oh, these are not the like the idea like the mech warrior agrimechs or something. Like, hey, it's kind of the same technology because it's so common now, it's for firefighting use or for something like that. But it's just a good action figure.
Yeah, this is the entire tactical
like
mover
that.
thing. Basically, is there's 7 of these. Each one has like basically 3 different colorways plus a 4th one in an accessory pack where you just get the core. And then yeah, you can swap the cores around. The cores all cross compat backwards with other stuff because they're also bullet cores.
The armor kits that are just like $20 kits that are just shoulder armor.
It like bulks out this stuff.
Armor that just bulks them out a little bit, adds splashes of color. I'm kind of upset that the most recent one is like a tan and a slightly different tan.
Yeah.
I'd rather like those are the places to get crazy with the color, man.
No, I agree. Another thing that really saved my life in interacting with Diaclone is I have absolutely no interest in the Cosmo Marine color scheme. And that's where all the most expensive, like, Takara Tomy Mall exclusives live. Or not all of them, but that's where a lot of them live.
I think some of the Cosmo Marine stuff is cool. If it was all the same green and everything hit it, that might be one that I could see people having a lot easier time to army build because it's army green versus the other things.
But yeah, here's the tread. I think the tread also does the thing.
Yeah, because tread and gamma were the first 2, and like the head just kind of stays tucked in the back. It's the same type of thing.
Yeah. I used a spudger last time, so I didn't get the hand feel. I know option 0 said something about pushing on the head. I remember pushing on the head was a thing that I did. I figured out a trick for these, but that was about 6 months ago, and I have since forgotten. So that's on me.
I think those are the 2 also that you have to be careful with, because if you push the head sideways, you can shear a peg real easy.
Yeah. The heads actually peg on.
Yeah.
So you want to be kind to them to some degree.
That shaft dispenser thing is
there we go.
A removable part, I believe. Is that what? Are those removable? The like smoke canisters?
Oh yeah. These are I think 3 mil.
Yeah. Connor McClure was saying that they're cool, and yeah, it's another one of those things that the little 3 mil holes that are in a bunch of places, you can maneuver those around for your story.
There we go. And yeah, like Tread Chariot for a while was a go-to Diaclone toy because it's just It's a Versalter who has big tank tread skis and big cannons on his back and can kind of transform into a sort of tank. I'll take it easy, Lee. But yeah, the tactical movers, they are the kind of the current entry-grade Diaclone reboot toys. They're still kind of, like, I would say if you can use Mandarake, then they become actually a value prop immensely, because you can sometimes catch one for about 5,000 yen, which is, if I recall correctly, under $50 USD.
Right about, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, and then shipping will be kind of a bummer, but I think if you only get one, it should be able to do small packet if they do small packet to the States. I don't know if they do.
Mandarake shipping has been, like, the things that I've picked up secondhand from them, so long as it's not deep into the catalog, has been, I'd say, has been equivalent to if I had gotten it new, if I'm within the last year or so.
Okay.
So, like, comparable to, like, if I'd ordered it from Chosen Prime to Big Bad.
Oh yeah, their little fingers open too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you are going to look into one, like, the Horus is the one that tends to just grok with most Transformers fans right now, because it just turns into a jet. And its add-on parts, like its base body, has armor on all the limbs and feet extenders that make it a bit taller with buffed out foot mass. So the Horus Versalters are very popular as people's, like, you know, I want to buy a Diaclone.
Yeah, and it makes a kick-ass F-14 style jet with a swing wing backpack thing that turns into a pretty impressive cape. 2 significant swords.
He can't hold this.
I've got him. He lives on my desk in a corner with 2 like worker repair guys on him. One of them repairing him, one of them like defending, and it is very much desk play fun.
Yeah.
I was going to pull up I was going to pull up a link to that D vehicles, but it's not showing anywhere on the Chosen Prime. So it's actually, hey, I'm going to copy paste another link into the chat. If I can hit the chat box, boom, bam, blang. 2 of those like worker robot things that also fold up into cores, that can go into the frames, but in yellow, so it looks like the power loader from Aliens.
Yeah, like overall, like, Diaclone Reboot is a really interesting line that is, like, sadly, it's likely never going to become more accessible than it already is, but it's a line that is, how do I put this? It feeds really well into one of the concepts I tried to present at the most recent panel I posted, which is that it's a line that actively punishes you for even considering being a completist. So it encourages the notion of, what if I don't be a completist? What if I just buy the ones that I think look cool that I can get now? And then that is the story of my collection. Is like, these are the ones I got. I wasn't able to get at, you know, the entire run of them. But I have these, you know, 2 or 3. I have these 4 or 5 even. They're my little Diaclone story. They're my little team. They're my little squad.
Yeah. Option 0, the D vehicle set 5 with the quad loader. Yeah, that's what I have 4 of. 2 of them are still sealed. I need to do something with them. I wish I had a slightly better spot to. I've got my giant robot base posed on top of a 4x4 Calyx with a bunch of the other stuff around it, because that's kind of the space that I had. I wish I had something that was slightly more accessible to be slightly more like fiddly playable, because that seems like more fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's definitely the draw of the tactical maneuver or tactical mover stuff as well, is that a single Versalter actually works as a desk toy, sort of.
Oh, very, very much. When I have those meetings that I have to deal with, it's a good thing to sit there and like fiddle with it in order to not yell at stupid. I mean, not yell at... No, yeah, no, that is what I mean.
Not yell at stupid. Not punch stupid. I mean, not punch stupid. I mean...
I can't actually punch the stupid because I'm at home and they're home, and...
Punch stupid monitor, make dumb noise!
And violence over IP is not an option that I have, apparently.
Working on it. But yeah, my plan as far as like video stuff is I'm working on a script for Diabattles V2. I'm going to do V2, then I'm going to do Big Powered, then I'm going to do Battle Buffalo, and that's like my goal right now. The Versalters I'm planning to do in 2 or 3 videos. Like, it's going to be Gamma and Tread first, and then possibly just the rest of them as a video. That's kind of like my long-term hope.
Yeah, I feel like with Versalters, if you lead off the second video or whatever with a, hey, here's the base frame thing, so I don't have to go through articulation each time.
Yeah, that's why I like
all the stuff that goes on top of it.
That's why I wanted to do like Gamma and Tread first.
Yeah,
because they're kind of, you know, they were the first 2. They're the most basic, and then the ones afterwards are the ones that also like went far harder on like what they could do with the frames.
You got to push the button.
I know
that sound.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Look how the light piping is catching in the eye right now.
Uh-huh. Oh. Don't tell me that's not alive.
That's so cool. But yeah, that's my current Diaclone plans. Partly just because in my, attempting to research Diaclone stuff, I am also noticing there has become a bit of a hole as far as like English language coverage. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I think it would be helpful for there to be more venues. I'm not going to be the only one, but like to at least like get some stuff moving. To have more venues for people to be able to learn stuff about Diaclone, because as I said before, one of the biggest problems with getting into Diaclone right now is for English language, all of the most collated information is in a 2,956.58 now.
It was 56 earlier. Let me check.
Okay.
Because we had a little bit of discussion about this live stream going on in that
What?
thread.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, still 2956.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of the most collated information community-wise is in that mega thread. There is, also Diaclone info. They're very good for parts lists, especially. And I believe are they the one who have the translations? Or I'm mixing them up maybe with the other site. One site is very good for parts lists. The other one has actual translations of all of the Takara Tomy website pages. And those are very helpful too. But a lot of the practical info I find is kind of buried in the mega thread. So I want to help disseminate a bit of that through my own coverage where I can. Just so that it's... Because also, like, when you look at the journey of Diaclone Reboot, right? You have the original Dia battles, all that kind of stuff. You have the move into Triverse, and then you have the move into tactical maneuvers, or tactical movers. Amidst that, you have the kind of journey that Warriors went on, and it's very easy to look at all of it and go like, so what plugs into what? Yeah. Also the Gridman crossover stuff. So yeah, I want to try to have myself do a bit more coverage of it. Also to make myself less daunted by pieces like this, because as I said, I've had Diaclone stuff for years, like since 2018, and I just always found it too intimidating to talk about because there was so much to talk about. So I want to make myself more comfortable too.
It's a good way to do it as well. Like you get into your discomfort zone a tiny bit to find the new way through.
Yeah.
And then when your channel actually takes off as a Diaclone review channel, I'll just like lend you my giant robot base.
Well, that's
save you like $3,000.
That's when I try to make friends with Takara Tomy and go like, listen. I'm your buddy, all right? I'm your guy. I'm your pal.
I don't know if you've heard of this market, the United States and Canada.
And I'm in Canada. No, see, maybe you've not heard of this market, the United States. They're like, but I'm from Canada though. So, you know, say it's all good. It's all good. I will say, part of the reason why, for instance, I didn't pick up MPG Super Jinrai, aside from it being expensive, is last year I won't say committed, but I had pre-orders that I really wanted to hold on to, and I managed to, for Adamus Machina Rodimus, this, and Toy Rise King X Kaiser, because I was very interested in what this T-Spark umbrella is, as far as my own interests. And so far, I've been extremely impressed. Like, I will say, and I think we mentioned this early on, this feels like it's a Diaclone reboot toy, but this is, like, the nicest one I've ever handled, basically. Like, this feels a step above, you know, it's obviously the old Dia battles, but also Battle Buffalo, for instance. And I feel like there are some cool things happening with this T-Spark imprint. I'm not going to buy stuff I'm not interested in necessarily, but
yeah. My biggest hope with T-Spark is that, like, by having an I don't know if aligned brand is the right way to say it. Without corporately vomiting in my own mouth, but I feel like by like having a name that kind of links them together also helps out on other sides of, like, yeah, you know, this is, you know, a lot of Diaclone Reboot has been like one person's passion project, and other engineers help out as they have spare time. Maybe by making it, hey, this is our designer brand that all of this stuff fits under, and Diaclone Reboot is one part of that maybe it helps it get more, because this was part of the, like, T-Spark rebrand reveal, so, like, it was probably also a good thing of, like, hey, this is a jump off point for this, because we also have, like, the big three-way crossover with Diaclone and Transformers and Zoids or whatever, right?
Yeah, whenever like, Liger Prime actually comes out.
That thing still, even though that was one of the first things that was announced, it still is slightly vaporware, which makes me hope, as we've seen a lot of the themes in the other Diaclone stuff, that they're making sure that it's done right, not that it's just done.
Yeah, this is the full storage, by the way.
Yeah.
Curious. Yeah, something about T-Spark that also has really stuck out to me is, and I don't think this is necessarily, like, the design of T-Spark, but it feels like T-Spark is Takara Tomy creating an identity for themselves domestically in the high end, that is somewhat separated from just being the Transformers company, but that is higher end than their Shinkalion, money chest. And specifically, I feel like, where is he? Yeah. Like, this guy, like, Soul Jigoken is still my go-to word, but recently I've been feeling more like maybe he's more like the Takara Tomy, neighbor to, Ryobot and, like, Super Robot Shogoken. And from what I have heard, we'll find out on probably the next stream, the, Toy Rise X Kaiser kind of hangs out somewhere between Commander class Transformers and starts to tread a little bit into the business of the Gutai. And I think it's kind of neat that, like, Takara Tomy are finding these avenues to execute on high-end aesthetics that are very popular right now, that are like very boutique, and that they are being accommodated. Also, yeah, Soul Jigoken is kind of in a funny place right now, and I think that the high-end robot market is rife for people to, and they already have been, to start eating Bandai's lunch. And I think that T-Spark is Takara Tomy kind of saying, like, we want to stay liquid and continue changing. We don't want to fall as Bandai is not falling, but I believe Bandai has been stubborn. It would be the way I'd put it.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of like, hey, this has always worked for us. So
yeah, I've always maintained, and people who have been buying Bandai stuff, Fig Arts, Gunpla, and Soul of Chogokin have kind of soft corroborated with me on this a little bit when I brought it up, that Bandai of Japan, their reaction to the 2020s and all of the catastrophes that have come with that in their very industries has been to go like, everything's fine. Everything is fine. And like that's kind of their approach. And I think it's not working, but I feel like that is their approach. So there are a lot of companies now that are like the things people buy instead of Soul Chogokin. Pose Plus and the Gutai being like two big examples. Pose Plus is kind of like, oh, that's the nice Chogokin now, and the Gutai is like it's like Good Smile's push into that kind of similar space is what it feels like. So yeah, this T-Spark stuff, even though some of it is, you know, already on a pedigree that exists and has existed for nearly a decade, feels like Takara Tomy trying to find their own identity so that they are not just the guys who do engineering for Transformers and who have Shinkali on, basically. And I think that's a really cool plan. And then whenever they do something that's relevant to Transformers, everyone in the States gets access to it through Pulse, it seems. So it's like a win-win for everybody. Anyway, that's my musings on high-end robots that I also can't actually afford to interact with directly most of the time. But yeah, that's been how things have been looking to me. I'm just going to make the classic here. Because there are these alternate thighs you only use for this kind of mode.
Anybody else wish they had alternate thighs just in case?
It'd be so nice if I had alternate thighs, just in case mine like get messed up. Yeah. Excuse me. Not to say that I think, like, you know, everything Bandai's doing is also horrible. It's just that, like, Bandai have a vibe that I don't think is working. And I feel like a lot of the feedback I am seeing on their stuff is corroborating that. But yeah, like I just saw in the chat, like, you know, Fig Arts Geets does the gimmick, right? If I understand correctly. And that's kind of wild. This is a fun little walker thing. Ugh. There's no spot for one of these, right? Yeah, okay. That just bullet cores just sit in there. I'm sure there's an adapter. Oh, yeah. No, there is an adapter. That's what I just saw. Is frigging what's it called? Verse risers have peggable things that peg squares to rail system onto them.
Okay.
So then this could rail system in. That's what it was. Yeah, it sounds like, you know, yeah, the Bandai Candy toys are still kicking ass. Good Gunpla does come out. So we're in an interesting place with lots of stuff going on, but at least the robots are working. Have some of my nice bespoke cool tea now. Ooh. Yeah. Aaron, thank you for joining me. I think that's the bulk of the diacloning.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, you're very welcome.
I hope that answered some of your questions.
Yeah, seeing that it is completely cross-compatible and very well back to the original makes those tempting pre-orders. See how finances are doing and if I'm still going to be able to do 2 extra conventions and maybe another trip this year or not.
I was going to say, in no way, shape, or form do I want to go well, Aaron, you said you were gonna, because that ain't the era we're in right now. That's a message I did want to spread some more. Again, it's from the panel, but I want to spread it a lot now that things are getting so kooky. Is just amongst us as our little community, right? As I pat you heavily on the back and make your eyes shake.
Yeah.
One little thing that we can do, I think, to help everyone feel a little bit better, and this is not like you're wrong if you don't, but I think this is also just a neat little exercise, and I'm trying it too. I'm not succeeding all the time, but I'm trying my best. Is to try to change my conversational habits a bit, and not default as often to saying, "So are you gonna get it?" Because I think that. Right now, that maybe puts weird pressures onto conversations that are not intended, and I don't know. It's just a little exercise I thought of that everyone could participate in if you feel like it. Is if you're talking about a thing that looks cool, if you catch yourself about to go so you gonna get it, just kind of stop yourself for a second and go what else do you think is cool about that?
Yeah.
Just little things. I want us to be able to, as much as possible, enjoy our hobby even in a very liquid situation, and I think part of it is on a wider scale normalizing just talking about pictures of stuff, for instance, and being able to say that you really like something without ever having to commit one way or another as to will you in future purchase it, because what if you just think it looks cool, what if the pictures are neat, what if the videos are neat, and then just that's the experience right now. Just as an exercise, I think normalizing that on the whole will also just make for healthier conversation in general, but right now I feel like it also could, on a very subtle subconscious level, help a lot of folks out and help them not feel so surrounded by time and events. But another way you can help I didn't do this at the start of the thing. Another way you can help that, if you use, wait, that's the wrong page. If you like stickers, then you can take the stress off of stickers. Use my code. It's good for me, and you get a discount, but it's also good for me. Anyway, I thought I had that loaded, but then I opened the wrong browser window ages ago, and here we are. Anyway, look, I'm advertising it. Some folks have said that they don't really look anywhere except in videos, so they might not be watching the streams either. But it made me go well, I guess I could flash the logo in a stream like this. This makes sense. Also, just for reference, I almost made it Cottontail Vangelus. But then I figured, that's long, and then, maybe not everyone has been, as streamer brain rotted as I have in the last year and a half, so it won't make as much sense to everybody. Yeah, that's the current thing. It's based on Peter Cottontail, the Easter Bunny. Do the plug at the beginning, then at the end. Yeah, I meant to do this at the beginning, and I forgot. It's
you
as
think
it happens.
He thinks? Come on.
Yeah, it crossed my mind, but then we hit the ground running, and I was like, let's open toy, because this box is too big. Anyway, yeah, Aaron, I'll let you go, because I already kept you up late last time.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming by, and I'll catch you around.
Yeah, enjoy. Take care.
Yeah, take it easy. And that thing... And then, did I miss anything in the alternate chat? I'm sure. Oh, no, I'm sure I did. Oh, I missed so much. 20 entire messages I missed. Damn it. Okay, we were just figuring out the metal card bot thing. All right, that's good. That's good. We can blame the tempting $240 toy that was blazing hot just waiting to be... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, hang on, let me fix up all my little tags so that he is not any longer on the line. Turn this off now. So let me tell you all about all them politicians I want to hurl rocks at. Nah, it's all right. It's all right. I won't do it. I won't do it. But yeah, whoa, my eyes. I'm back. I hope you're doing all right, as best as you can. Think the world we in be pretty interesting, ain't it? Haha. I'm probably gonna stream tomorrow because I don't want to sit with unopened Tutorialize King X Kaiser for multiple days, but I'll see how the day goes. I'll see how this feels too. And I don't know when I would do it. I'll just kind of play it by ear. If it happens earlier, then hey, there's a VOD at least, right? But yeah. Also gonna try to get some gaming streams in this month so as I can hopefully get a dice tower, because that'd be funny. And that'll probably be some Elden Ring at least, because I need to get back on the quest. So we'll see what we do with that. And what I should do, hang on, just in case anyone's stuck in here, what I should do is I got an idea. Kisama won't expect this. Where is it? Here we go. Kisama, you won't expect this to happen to you. I'm also trying to, like, monitor what my throat flaps feel like right now, because every now and then I can get this funny little voice. And I know it's because my throat's all raw, but I'm like, what in there is replicatable, though? Hey. What? Can't I send people to my own channel? Okay. So what I was gonna try to do was redirect you all to my de-stressing collector distress panel, because I want more people to look at it. However, I appear to only be able to redirect people to my Victory Saber unboxing stream from several years ago. That isn't helpful. Okay. New plan. This redirect system is so frustrating. Alright, I'll look into this some more later, but grumpy. Well, that just means I'm going to get the music playing. Means I got to turn this down. Oh, coughing! My body's saying stop. Oh-hoo. Okay. Thank you for coming by the fun stream. I will see if I can get Coach in. Might not be able to go like, hey, Coach, get in here. It's Elden Ring time right away. But I will definitely be keeping in contact with Coach to make sure we got some Coach on for Elden Ring streaming for the most part. And yeah, ideally, I will stream tomorrow for X Kaiser. If it's earlier in the day, I apologize, but the VOD will be there. If it's later in the day, I apologize to the other people. but it'll be there. And yeah, Yappin' stream, Long was here. I'm remembering that. I still want to do it. This made me not do it on the weekend, but I do want to get in the habit of that too, because I think that could be pretty fun. Anyway, I will catch you all later, and hey, stay safe out there. And take care of yourself. Like I kind of, I'm very protective. I really want to get some good vibes going out there. But you all know what I'm gonna say. So see you all. I expect your well-being as best as can be expected to your specific context. Where is the button that switches scenes? I found it. I'll catch you later.
Let them come.